Hey guys, good afternoon and welcome to today's live conversation with me. My name is Glory Elijah, and this is Frankly Speaking with Glory Elijah. Especially welcome all of you today as we discuss the state of Nigeria. So, I did not have a live conversation last week. A lot was just going on, and there was no way I could meet up as much as I tried to meet up with the target, to go live by 3 p.m. WAT, but I just could not meet up. So for that, I sincerely apologize for not showing up and not informing you all as well. But I'm glad that we're here today because there's just a lot to discuss. Yes. So between last week and this week, a lot has happened. I think even before last week, I think from 2 weeks ago and last week, and then also this week, a lot has really happened. We're talking about the state of insecurity in Nigeria, the kidnapping of children, and how the government is handling the situation. We're looking at party primaries, that's political party primaries that started, I think, about 2 weeks ago, and the shambolic activities that we saw that these people actually called party primaries from two political parties as of now. That's the APC and the ADC. And guys, it's just been so sad. It's just been so sad because there are a lot of videos on social media to at least give you a snippet of how all of these things happened, how these activities panned out. And it just goes to show you that as Nigerians, we still have a long way to go. We have a long way to go. Yes. Now, beginning with the kidnapping of school children, kidnapping of people living peacefully in their communities, how these terrorists, who the government is still sugarcoating by calling them just bandits and kidnappers, no, but for me, I still call them terrorists because that is what they are. How these terrorists invade peaceful communities, disrupt the flow of their life and activities, kidnap them, torture them. I mean, guys, there are pictures, there are videos on the internet. I mean, that particular school teacher that was beheaded live on camera, the impunity that is being displayed in broad daylight, these things are being shoved down our throats. It's like these terrorists are sending a very loud message to Nigerians, to the world, that they have this government by the balls and there's nothing this government can do about it. That they are here to stay and they are here to do whatever they want to do. And if the government so much as tries to stop their activities, that they will do more. These people are sending a very, very loud message. And it just looks like this government is already too familiar with that message. And there's nothing, like they're giving off the air of there's nothing they can do. So Nigerians should get used to it. I mean, back in the day, growing up as a child in Lagos, Nigeria, when you hear that somebody was killed, it sends shivers down your spine. You get goosebumps. I remember one time as a very, very young girl, I was going somewhere with my mom and we saw the lifeless body of a criminal, right? Jungle justice was meted out on this person. This person had been caught stealing, according to the story, and this person had been burnt to death. Now, in as much as that person was a criminal, people were still repulsed by the sight of that lifeless body on the road. People still felt pity for that lifeless body. People were scared. There was this atmosphere of fear in that environment. People were just scared. Now, as a child, I honestly did not really understand what emotions was going through people's mind, but the very obvious emotion I could see on people's faces was fear, because I also felt it. I was scared as a child to see it. And there's been several other occasions too where you hear that, oh, at this particular location, there was a fight outbreak and people fought and somebody was injured and then the person died. And when you hear news like this, it scares you. You are worried for your safety. I mean, thinking about it now, right? When you hear that, oh, on this particular street, people fought over something and somebody got injured and the person died, you are scared. You're automatically scared because it is unheard of to hear of such a news that people fought and someone died. It was such a life was so sacred back in the 90s. I'm a 90s baby. So let me put it that way. Life was so sacred in the 90s. It was so sacred that when you it's a taboo to hear that someone died, if not from a natural cause, but for someone to just die like that, either by fighting or maybe the person was attacked, you would even rarely hear of such unprecedented attacks, right? But now, the Nigeria that we live in today, the government of this country, and I keep on putting the blame on the government of this country because there's a way the government will handle matters of insecurity. It would put fear in the mind of the perpetrators. They will be so shaken. They will be too scared to even push forward their next move because they know that the heavy hammer of the law will come crashing down on them. But unfortunately, that is not the case today. And that is why I will continue to put the blame on the government, right? But as I was saying, back in the day, when you hear of the death of people, it was a very, very scary news. It puts fear in your mind. You begin to fear for your own safety. And it doesn't really matter how far or near that incident happened, you are just scared and you are worried. But now we live in a Nigeria where it's like every single day, kidnapping happens, terrorism happens. People are taken away from their homes, from their families. People are captured. People are kidnapped at their places of businesses or at their places of worship. People cannot go to farms anymore. Why? Because a certain group of individuals have decided that the whole of Nigeria is their birthright. So they have every right to move around with their cows and, you know, trample on people's crops in their farmlands. And if those people protest it, they will butcher them down. Nigerians are assaulted every single day. It's like there's an intentional move to reduce the population of Nigerians in this country. So because it happens so rampantly, because it happens frequently, and I say frequently because what you hear in the news, it's just what the media decides to report. I tell you for free that if the media decides to begin to report the accurate number of casualties of these terrorists, huh? I honestly do not know what's going to happen, but I want to believe that people will be more scared than they are today. But as I was saying, these activities have become so frequent that it's like people are now immune to fear. People have gotten used to it. The government have sort of normalized it. It has become a normal thing. And that is very, very worrisome. Because the moment terrorism becomes normalized in a society, it means nowhere in that society is safe anymore. Nowhere in that society is safe anymore, except, of course, you work with the president and his cronies. That's the only way you're safe. But so long as you are a regular Nigerian, nowhere is safe for you. I put together some clips, some videos that I want us all to watch together today. So it's like a 6-minute video. So please settle down, take your time, watch the video, and then we're going to come back for further conversations. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this video. This video is going to also give perspective and direction to our conversation today. So let's watch.
Boko Haram are being rehabilitated. Now, what they do, after the rehabilitation, they fill form, they ask questions. How many people have you killed? So if you kill 50, you have your own class. 50 and above, 20, I have never killed. So if you have never killed, maybe you stay there 1 month and go off. If you kill small number, 2 months. If you kill many, 6 months. Which type of ammunition that you use? Then that is the people that they are going to pay them a payoff of 3 million. And a monthly salary of 50,000. I'm saying this, it should be a shocking. I'm revealing this. After being rehabilitated, what happens the next? If you cannot live without gun, the government will provide gun for you. As a civilian JTF, you all know that they are here in Abuja. Most of them are repentant Boko Haram. Some of them that they cannot stay in the society, they are being exported to Algeria to go and attack the miners, to go and do illegal mining, gold mining in Algeria, and be paid. If they sustain gunshot, they are going to be transported back to Maiduguri and treated in the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital through the government of Borno State. The repented IDPs, repented Boko Harams, and also the civilian JTF go to Zamfara. They are there. The government of Zamfara is paying them 70,000. The government of Borno State is paying paying 70,000 to the Borno State government. The Borno State government is paying them 50,000. Meaning it is a job, it is a business. It is not a crime to start a business if the business is being recognized by our government. The business that I'm craving for is to start my terrorism. I'm not going to terrorize anybody. I'm going to fight back. It has been so painful that the killer of my dad is being paid with taxpayers' money. The abductors of our wife, our children, our sisters are being paid off by the taxpayers' money. They drive luxury car with escort. There is one man that slaughtered 96 people a day. Now he's driving with Hilux. His name is Adamurubu. I'm saying this, I don't care. I don't care. I'm ready to die. I'm ready to die. Because what's the life?
I'm from Ibadan. I'm working at First Baptist Church of Ogbomoso, Yawota area. Yesterday, the people of the young people came to our school, and we are making now both the teachers and the children. We are all here. We need help from the federal government and the state government, both the church, First Baptist Church, Yawota, and the community. We need your help so that these people will release us. Please help us. Please help us. We need help from our president.
51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 1,000, 1,001, 1,002. But no more, but no more. Don't get back, don't get back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20. Take out 104. $506, $508.
Ladies and gentlemen, growing up, I was very proud to be Nigerian. And that was courtesy of my father. My father was a very proud Nigerian. His best friend was a Hausa man from Kano State. That was my father's best friend. And if there was one thing I learned from my father, it's to just be proud of where you're from, to hold your head high and value the connections you have with your fellow Nigerians. I grew up with that, into my adult years. But unfortunately, now, when I see the things happening in this country, especially watching videos like this, I just hate being Nigerian. A lot of people are going to say, oh, you're being unpatriotic. Yeah, at this point, I think I'm past the point of caring if I sound patriotic or not. But I just hate being Nigerian now. I just hate that I come from a place where there's just so much cruelty and so much impunity. You see all those videos you just watched? I don't know if you can tell, but there's just a lot going on, right? So the first one you watched, that is a testimonial from a young man from northeast Nigeria who is telling his story, his experience, and the reality of life in his community, in his state. I don't want to waste your time summarizing everything he said, but you heard for yourself. Terrorism is now a very lucrative business in Nigeria. Even without that young man telling you, anybody that has eyes, anybody that can see, anybody that follows the news, you will know automatically that terrorism is now a very lucrative business in this country. And it is no longer news not nationally, but also internationally. It is no longer news that there are a lot of politicians, a lot of individuals in high places in Nigeria who are sponsors of terrorism in Nigeria. Because nobody, guys, I'm not stupid, I'm not dumb. I think I'm too smart for anybody to just come up to me and tell me that one simpleton from one community will just have access to an AK-47 gun and just begin to terrorize people and shoot people. No. The terrorists themselves, ladies and gentlemen, nobody would tell me for me to believe or even think that they just started doing these things by themselves. Terrorism involves a lot of money. It involves a lot of funds, a lot of resources, a lot of communication network. It needs people. It is a very huge, it's a huge network. And it's not something that can be executed by one dumbass, one stupid person, or one illiterate. There is a brain behind it. There is a head. These terrorists you're seeing executing the actions, they receive what's it called, instructions from someone or from people. They are being sponsored. If you listen correctly to that first video, that man was throwing a lot of light on the situation. He wasn't even talking about the sponsors or anything. He was actually talking about the so-called rehabilitated and reintegrated terrorists. 2 weeks ago when we had our live conversation, it was something that we also touched up on, how this government is spending so much money. They call it an investment, but as far as I'm concerned, it's one of the dumbest investment in the history of mankind. He was talking about how his state government, another state government, in fact, I think he mentioned about 3 or 4 state governments and governors, how they are paying 50,000 to 70,000 to 3 million naira as salaries. Some of them are paid monthly, and some of them are one-off payments. They are paying salaries, or should we call it remunerations? They are paying these amounts to so-called reintegrated or rehabilitated terrorists in this Nigeria. They are paying people, these people. Now, a lot of people will argue that, some people joined terrorism because they were forced. Some people joined terrorism because they were naive. So the question I, as a concerned citizen, has is, how can the government tell those ones who were forced into terrorism and those who were not forced? If you listen to that young man's video, he explained further that, in their so-called rehabilitation exercise, and they will ask some of the terrorists, how many people have you killed? The ones that said that they killed 40, they have a class. The ones that said they killed 50, they have a class. He said that the man that actually killed his father, that man has killed so many people. They mentioned somebody that killed over 90 people, and they paid that person 3 million, and then they gave that person a Hilux vehicle. It's like compensation for destroying lives, communities, properties, displacing people in their communities, sending people to poorly catered to IDP camps in the northern part of Nigeria. Because even these so-called IDP camps, ladies and gentlemen, when you go there, those places are forgotten. They are dilapidated. They are forgotten. The people living in those IDP camps, they've been rendered homeless. They've been rendered orphans, because a lot of them, their families have been killed. Some of them, they've been amputated. They have amputated arms. They have amputated legs. Some of them, their body parts are not complete. Some of them, they have been raped to the point of no return. A lot of people in IDP camps and even out of IDP camps, but so long as these people have been attacked by terrorists one way or the other, whether they are in IDP camps or not, they are traumatized for life. This young man on that first video, that young man is traumatized. The person who butchered his father received 3 million naira from his state government and a Hilux truck. According to him, that person is riding around town like a big man. And then look at him on that video. Look at him, traumatized for life. He's now a bastard, as they will call it, someone that does not have a father. But then the person that actually committed that act, that sin against him and his father, that person has been compensated by his state government in Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen. So terrorism is now, see, the only thing that is left to legalize terrorism is to include it in the Nigerian constitution as a legal enterprise, as a legal occupation. That's the only thing left. But as far as I'm concerned, from all that is happening in Nigeria, terrorism has been codedly legalized in Nigeria. Because tell me why will the government be even rehabilitating these people? Why? If they are rehabilitating the children, well, that's conversation for another day. It can be argued that children who are used as bomb carriers, it can be argued that yes, those ones, they were brainwashed and they were forced into those cults. But when we talk about grown people, adult people who have killed 50, 10, even if they've even taken one life, then the government is actually, in quotes, rehabilitating them and then reintegrating them into society, and then they are giving them monthly compensations. I call it compensations. They give them monthly compensations, 50,000, 70,000, and then some of them are getting 3 million. If you are a normal Nigerian, if you are a thinking Nigerian, you should be asking questions, and not just asking questions, but you should react. Because why is that allowed? Why are we allowing that to happen in a sane society? In a sane society. In a particular school, I think it was a secondary school, was it in Kogi State or where terrorists attacked? The school principal, the teachers, they had alerted security forces. The military was going to go back there. I think the military was already there, they were going there. But guess what? They received a call from their higher-ups, somebody in their higher-ups. They received a call for them to be withdrawn, for the security, for the military to be withdrawn from that school. And so the terrorists, they went there in broad daylight, comfortably, kidnapped over 100 people and took them away. Till today, nobody knows the whereabouts of those people. We're still waiting for information. This is how many months now? I think it's over 3 months now. These things are happening in Nigeria. Yet, when people who defend this government go for interviews, they keep on lying and gaslighting the people, claiming that terrorism has reduced drastically since President Tinubu took up office as the president of Nigeria. They lie, they gaslight us, not me anyways, because I'm not dumb, but they lie to people. They lie that, oh, Nigeria is safer than ever. So in that first video, that young man was actually telling us the reality of what's happening in some parts of the north. That terrorists, after killing people, after taking the life of another human, They get compensated. They get rewarded beautifully by their government. They get compensated. It's like giving them a pat on the back and telling them, well done for a hard job. Then the other video of the woman crying, that was one of the teachers from a school, I think in Oyo, if I'm not mistaken. These terrorists, they went there. By the way, it's Oyo State. It's in the southwest of Nigeria, right? Before, the terrorists, they were not as bold enough to leave the forest, the Sambisa forest, the bushes in the north. But now, they've become so emboldened by God knows what. They become so emboldened that they now travel freely to the point where they've moved from the north-north to the northeast. They've now moved to the southwest, yeah, and even some parts of the southeast, yeah. So they are spreading their wings. They're spreading their connection. Oh, and guess what? These people are moving freely. They are doing what they want to do, right? But for some weird reason, the security agencies cannot track them. The security agencies cannot capture them. Like, it's like they are ghosts. It's like they are dust. You can only maybe hear of them. You can't really, they're like ghosts moving amongst us. That is the impression that the security agencies are actually giving to us. But as I sit here today, if I say something that they do not like, don't be shocked. I could be picked up at any point in time. They could look for me. They could locate me anywhere I am in the world. They could locate me. They could look for me, and they could call for my arrest. And then when they want to charge me, they will charge me for cyber bullying or cyber stalking, because that is the most famous crimes that they charge people who are very vocal about the impunity happening in Nigeria. Cyber stalking, cyber bullying. Cyber bullying who? Terrorist. Cyber stalking who? Terrorist. And then the rest of the videos, what we saw, those videos were snippets of the party primaries that happened between, I think, last week and this week. Party primaries are not the actual elections, right? It's more like the election within these political parties to elect or choose whoever they want their representative for different political offices to be. Yeah, so that was what it was. And the first political party in Nigeria that had their party primary was the current ruling party, the APC. Yeah. And it was a show of shame, a shambolic display of madness, a shambolic display of criminality, a shambolic display of absolute, let me call it, madness and stupidity. Because, hey God, I don't know. See, in Nigeria, there's something we call see finish. You know, a typical case of see finish is when you look at somebody and you think the person is so dumb that when you show the person black and you tell the person, tell me this is white, and you expect the person to tell you that, oh, this black is actually white. That was exactly the nonsense these people were displaying. How were they doing it? The counting. Counting one person as 100, counting one person as 1,000. These people over-bloated figures in their primaries. On the queue, on the very, very long queue, the counting. You are seeing, by the way, let me pass on a message. If your father or your mother or any of your family member is a part of that madness, you should be ashamed of yourself, and you should also be ashamed of them. Because those people, they are a disgrace to their generation. They're a disgrace. I know that they themselves, they don't have shame anymore, because when you belong to a political party like that actually celebrates mediocrity and celebrates criminality, where is their soul? They do not have a soul anymore. They have sold their soul to the devil. They have sold their soul to corruption and criminality. And that is why somebody's adult father and mother will stand as a party official, counting people on a queue during a party primary. And you are counting one person as 1,000, 2,000. And then at the end of the day, these people, in their mad state of mind, they came out with one ridiculous overbloated figure and said, oh, President Tinubu got over, how many, did they call it 12 million votes across? Come on. Do you think we're actually very dumb? I mean, I know that Nigerians can be very docile. I know that Nigerians can be very, very annoying. But we're not entirely stupid. Yeah, we're not. And the worst of it all, guys, there are so many angles to this thing. Stay with me. The worst of it all is, number one, whilst counting that way, they were recording it, they were laughing, they were proud of themselves. And they were doing it with their full chest, because they know that Nigerians, as usual, will not do anything. When I say that Nigerian politicians are the luckiest bastards in the world, that is exactly what I am referring to. They know that even if they poke your eyes with their fingers, they know that there's nothing, absolutely nothing that you can do about it. And so they go ahead to do the nonsense that they want to do. So the first display of madness, counting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then from 10, jumping to 50, from 50, jumping to 100, from 100, jumping to 1,000, and then they jump to 5,000. We're seeing the video of them counting live and direct, and that is how they chose to count. And they were laughing and they were having fun. And they went ahead to record those figures as the accurate figures that they got from their primaries. That's number one show of shame and madness and stupidity, in my opinion. Yes, I said it. And then number two, this one is very shameful, very pathetic. The people on that queue, when you look at the faces of those people, ladies and gentlemen, you do not need a soothsayer to tell you that those people are the rejects of society. You don't need a soothsayer to tell you that those people are the ones that are hungry. They are the ones that are wretched. They are the ones that are actually very, very pathetic. They are the ones that beg for food. They stood on those queues, watching those party officials, counting them individually, like one person as 50, one person as 1,000, and they said nothing. I think it was only one video from the ones that I played that I saw where, I think it was in Cross River or Akwa Ibom State, where, because I understand my dialect to some extent, the man that counted 9, 10, 1,000, that video, they were telling him in my dialect that no, he has to start counting all over again. So I wasn't there. I don't know what ended up happening. But from the figures that was released, you can see the fake and overbloated figures. Because obviously those numbers were not there. So those people on the queue, they too, they have sold their soul to corruption. They've sold their souls to the criminality in politics. Because, pray tell, how much did they pay them? How much? How much? If at all these politicians want to be generous, the most they will give to those people is 5,000 naira. Ladies and gentlemen, in Nigerian currency, how much is 5,000 naira? 5,000 naira will finish in one day, depending on what you buy. It will finish in one day. Will it feed you for 4 years? For the 4 years that your candidate will hold on to power like a criminal, will that 5,000 naira feed you for that 4 years? No. I was looking at some of them on those queues, and they were smiling stupidly. They were smiling stupidly. For how much? Pray tell, how much? They were shining their teeth. It felt like they became deaf and dumb. A lot of them came out simply because they have been promised a cup of rice. A lot of them obviously came out because they've been promised one ridiculous and flimsy thing or the other. So it is those things that they have been promised that bought their voice, that bought their conscience. So they stood there on those queues, watching those party officials counting criminally, and they said nothing. In a way, I blame them because they are part of the problem. But on the other hand, I do not blame them. You know why? Because in their various constituencies, the officials, the local government chairmen, their governors, their senators, who are supposed to cater to them in terms of building infrastructures, creating opportunities, building, or should I say, just basically growing their communities, elevating their lives. Unfortunately, these people, their local government chairmen, their governors, and the senators representing their wards, unfortunately, they do not do their job. Unfortunately, when those ones get into power, it's like throwing a kid in a candy store. They get into office for the first time in their life. Probably they encounter a lot of money in billions in foreign currency. And so instead of actually doing what they were elected to do, they begin to spend the money lavishly. They spend it on their families. They spend it in having many girlfriends. I was watching a video the other day of this girl, Regina Daniels, former Senator Ned Nwoko's, I don't know if it's ex-wife, I don't give a fuck about the situation. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care. Yeah. Somebody came to deliver a car to her, a Brabus. And the person was proudly saying that His Excellency, that's the governor of a particular state, sent that car for her. Why? Why? Ladies and gentlemen, will you tell me that that governor spent his own personal money to buy that car for Regina Daniels? You and I know that that money is money that is supposed to go into a project for the good of his people. But instead, for whatever reason, used that money, bought a car, and sent it to Regina Daniels. I watched that video and I was trying to grasp the reason for this so-called gift of a car. And what did the young man say? The stupid young man, in my opinion, because I don't know why. Anyways, I know why. Hunger will make people turn very, very stupid and dumb. Hunger will make people become puppets in the hands of the higher-ups. So this young man was saying that the governor said he has seen all you are doing. He said you have tried. Very, very stupid and flimsy reasons that do not hold water, but they are just very stupid and dumb anyways. In a sane country, when the people of that community, people from that governor state, if the name of that governor comes out, and they learn that, it is my governor that actually sent this motor to this girl, this car to this girl. Guess what? They will march to the government house of that state and demand their rights that that car be collected back. But unfortunately, Nigeria is not a normal place because in Nigeria, anything goes. In Nigeria, anything goes. If Nigeria is a place where terrorism has been, in a way, codedly legalized, then tell me, what is a Brabus car? Why should the people be bothered? So the impunity that happens in Nigeria it makes me hate being Nigerian. And worst of it all is how innocent me. I try to live my life as peacefully as possible. I do not commit any crime. I haven't committed any crime. Not yet, not ever, because I don't want stress. I don't want problems. So unfortunately, me that has been trying to live a good life right from my childhood years, I try to go to another country, I try to go somewhere else, but then the moment people hear that I am Nigerian, automatically that stigma is already on my head. I am already considered a threat, a security threat. I'm already considered a problem. I'm already considered a drug pusher. I'm already considered a terrorist, even though I mean, it doesn't really matter the gender anyways, but even though I have no records, but just because I am Nigerian, there's already a stigma above my head. It's like a stigma on my forehead. So, dearest Nigerians, I'm going to say this before I drop the link in the comment section to interact with you all. I'm going to say this, that the problem of Nigeria runs deep. It really runs deep. There's religion, there's tribalism, and there's also the problem of individualism. I don't know if a lot of you have noticed, but I think I've actually mentioned this before on my previous videos, that another problem of Nigerians is that spirit of individualism. And what do I mean? Oh, because my life is going well, because I have nothing to worry about, because I have nothing to complain about. So if my neighbor's house is burning, let it burn. So long as me and my loved ones, we are not inside the house that is burning, we are good. That is how the average Nigerian thinks. And it's very sad. And I'm not making things up. I am not making things up. It is only in very, very few situations that you will see Nigerians come together, united beyond their boundaries, beyond their religion, beyond their tribe. It is only in very, very few situations that you will see Nigerians be so united and bounded by one cause to achieve one particular goal. But generally, aside the problem of tribalism, aside the problem of religion, Nigerians have a fundamental problem of individualism. Individualism can be very, very good in some cases. Individualism can work at your advantage. It depends on the situation you find yourself. But in the grand scheme of things, you see that spirit of individualism in Nigeria, that is what is leading everybody to do. That is one of the biggest problems in Nigeria. People will turn a blind eye to things so long as they are not affected directly. And I can beat my chest and say that this is a fact. What I'm saying right now is a fact, because I have been in that situation several times. I have seen that situation several times. I've encountered that situation several times. And even currently where I live, that is the situation. You live in a community where a lot of things are going wrong. A lot of things are not going well. Instead of the people living in that community to speak up, to voice out, to stand up against the management of that community, of that place, they keep quiet. And then it is only one person that is vocal. It is only one person that is talking. It is only one person that keeps on calling out the bullshit and the bias and the marginalization of that management. And then everybody else is quiet. Why? Because they do not want to be seen as a bad person. They do not want to be seen as a troublemaker. They do not want to be seen as, a rabble rouser. So when do they now finally get to speak up? When they now personally have their own problems, they will now begin to look around and they now begin to try to rile people up to come and speak up. Why? Because they are now being directly affected. I currently live in such an environment. And I find such a character, such a behavior, such spirit very, very pathetic. the spirit of selfishness. So, my fellow Nigerians, as I mentioned before, I know that religion is a huge problem. As far as I'm concerned, religion is not a blessing to Nigeria. And if you ask me, I would tell you for free that religion in Nigeria has proven to even an atheist that prayers does not work. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I believe in the Holy Spirit. I serve God. I interact with God in my own special way. But if there's one thing I strongly believe in, I believe that God has given me the spirit of wisdom. I believe that God has given me sense. I believe that God has given me courage, the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of understanding, the spirit of knowledge, the spirit to decipher situations. And so I will not be depending on another individual to interpret God's gospel for me. I will not depend on another individual to interpret God's will for me. And I will not look up to another individual for them to give me direction on how to do the right thing and what is best for myself and my country. So when I say religion is a problem in Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen, it is very, very evident. Because tell me, if religion is so powerful, how is it that terrorists are so bold to go into worship centers, churches, mosques? I don't know if they've attacked shrines before, but I know for a fact they have attacked churches. They've attacked a mosque. They go there in the middle of worship. They gun down people. They butcher people. They kidnap children, pregnant women, the young, the crippled. You even wonder what they want to do with a crippled person. They kidnap any and everything that has life in a place of worship. So what the hell are the people praying about? And what do you hear every day? You hear religious leaders saying, oh, let us pray, let us pray, let us pray. That's what they say, let us pray, let us pray, let us pray. And Archbishop was kidnapped with his wife. That Archbishop was killed in the custody of these terrorists. And then after like several months, more than 3 months, they finally released the wife. The woman is currently in the hospital under intensive care. And you want to tell me that religion is working in Nigeria? No, religion is one of the problems of this country because people see beyond the common good. They see past it. They don't see the common good. What they see is what my pastor said, what my imam said, or what my traditional ruler said. So, as I was saying, I know that religion is a problem in Nigeria. I know that tribe, our diversity, which is supposed to be a blessing, is also a curse, to be very honest. It is a curse. Our diversity, tribalism is such a huge problem in this country. And so it's going to be very difficult, extremely difficult to mobilize at least 50 million people in this country to speak with one mind. So with the existence of all of these disparities, all of these disadvantages that we have as a nation, if there is one thing that we can actually stand together on, it is in the power of our votes during elections. I probably haven't said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I am going to say it again. As far as I'm concerned, this government have failed woefully. This government have normalized terrorism. This government have normalized insecurity. This government has made the everyday Nigerian's life to mean nothing. This government has proven beyond words and beyond actions that they have no empathy whatsoever for the plight of the everyday Nigerian. This government has proven that they are very much more interested in the 2027 election other than the current situation of Nigerians and Nigeria. This government has shown that their comfort and maintaining their life of opulence, maintaining their life of luxury, maintaining their life of affluence and influence is what matters more than the safety and well-being of the everyday Nigerian. This government has shown countless number of times that they will rather continue to elevate the lives of the 1% of the 1% of Nigeria other than elevate the life of the general population. This government has completely impoverished Nigeria. The way things are in this country currently, it's like, in fact, I can't remember the last time things were this bad. It has never been this bad. That is the point. It has never been this bad. It is worse now. It is worse. It is terrible. It is really terrible. You watching me right now, the fact that you yourself have not been kidnapped does not mean that you are safe, because it could be anybody. It could happen to anybody. The fact that you can afford to buy bread for 2,000 naira today, whilst other people are struggling to buy the same bread, it does not mean that tomorrow, if the price of bread increases to 5,000 naira, it does not mean that you'll be able to afford it. You might not be able to afford it. Even if you're able to afford it, the prices just keeps on going higher and higher and higher. The hike in the cost of food, the hike in the standard of living in Nigeria, it is insane. It's unheard of. And this government keeps on telling Nigerians, bear the pain, buckle your belt, adjust. I am sick and tired of bearing the pain. I am sick and tired of adjusting. I am sick and tired of watching the children of politicians move around with security, move around with convoys, travel to different parts of the world to live their best life. I see a lot of them on TikTok. I see a lot of them on Instagram doing get ready with me as I blah, 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 travel, blah, 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 blah. I am sick and tired of seeing the children, the families, the friends and loved ones, the cronies of politicians living largely, whilst the everyday Nigerian is wallowing in squalor. I am sick and tired of seeing the imbalance in our situation. I am sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of seeing the president's son going to a cultural festival and having over 20 people following him as security, while son of the president's spokesman, Daniel Buala, is telling Nigerians to defend themselves. I don't even want to talk about that one. That one just pisses me the fuck off. If Nigeria is so safe, then the president should stop moving around with a convoy. The president should stop moving around in a bulletproof vehicle. The president's wife should stop moving around with a massive convoy. The president's wife and his children and their grandchildren, they should stop moving around with security. I don't give a fuck if it is their constitutional right. No, they should bring themselves lower to our standard, to the standard of the everyday Nigerian. If Nigeria was so safe, the president and his family, they should move into the deeper parts of the north where these terrorists are fully operational. They should move in there and go and do holidays there. They should go and observe vacations there. When the president and all of these politicians want to travel for health checks, for vacation, they go to France, they go to Paris, they go to the UK. But the everyday Nigerian wallows in squalor, in poverty. When they are sick, they take their private jet immediately. They've flown out of the country. They've gone to medical checkup. Anything that happens to them, they've gone abroad. They want to send their kids to school abroad. If Nigeria is so good, if the president's policies are working, why are they shielding their families and loved ones from the harsh reality of the country? Why? And you, who is at the bottom barrel, receiving nothing, absolutely nothing. You will come on here and come and defend them. You will come on here and come and tell me bullshit about their policies working. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'll say this finally before I give the floor for everybody else to speak. As far as I'm concerned, come 2027, this government has no fucking right to come back to power. They've done their time. They've dealt with us enough. They have suffered Nigerians enough. It is time for them to go. If they will not go peacefully, then we will fight. If they will not leave us in peace, then we will fight. We are sick and tired. If you are not, I am sick and tired. I am sick of hearing even the diluted news from the media every day about 50 people getting kidnapped, about children getting abducted in school, about this one happening, that one happening. Nigeria is not safe. Don't allow anybody fool you. Nigeria is not safe. If Nigeria was safe, the president should not be moving around with a convoy. The president should not be moving around in bulletproof vehicles. The president's children and his grandchildren should not be moving around with security. I don't give a fuck if anybody comes here to tell me that, oh, as president of the country, his family is entitled to security. Prove to us, come on, Nigerians, that your security policies are actually working and yielding fruit by throwing your children out there in the open. Let them walk around freely like every regular Nigerian and let us see how free the country is. On a final note, come 2027, if you vote for this government, for this APC government, for President Tinubu to come back in power, I curse you today with whatever you believe in. I don't care. Nobody should come and tell me, oh, it is my fundamental human right. No, but I'm telling you today, if you vote for this government to come back, I curse you today that everything you put your hands on will turn to ash. Because currently things are not really going well for all Nigerians. Don't deceive yourself. It doesn't matter if you are from the same local government as the president or every other politician that is currently in power. It doesn't matter if they're your brothers, they're your sisters, if they're your fathers, if they're your mothers, if they're your daddies and uncles. It doesn't matter. The fact that you are enjoying the benefits of this government does not mean that this government is actually good for us. This government is not good for Nigerians. Nigerians are not benefiting the dividends of democracy. It is not working. Nothing is working. So I curse you again today. Come 2027, you're watching this video right now. Whether you're watching this video or not, whether you're hearing my voice or not, if you vote this government back in power, I curse you. That insecurity that you think Nigeria is safe and secure, it will happen to you and your loved ones. Because we need change. Things need to change. Things need to change. We're sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of the president telling me, oh, buckle up, don't worry, very soon. The economic reforms I've been doing is going to start working very soon. But from the very first day that the president got into power, boom, everything has changed. How much did they spend to build the vice president's villa? Was it not 25 billion? How much did they spend to buy a yacht for the president? Is it not $5 billion? How much did they spend to install solar power in Aso Villa? Was it not 10 billion? Was it last year? And then this year, they now budgeted another, I think 5 billion or 10 billion again. This is a precedent that during his election campaigns, he promised Nigerians constant electricity. He promised Nigerians, he said, and these are his own words, he said, if I do not give you electricity, do not vote me again. But this same president and his cronies, they literally went to go and spend 10 billion to install solar panel in Aso Rock, in Aso Villa. When the Minister of Power brought about this ban A, ban B bullshit, do you know how many businesses shut down? There was a report I saw in the newspapers, over 7,000 businesses shut down Some multinational businesses, they left Nigeria. Why? Because operational costs became suffocating. They could not cope. They could not manage. They packed up and left. And it wasn't just one multinational company. I think, to the best of my knowledge, I think I heard about 4. They left. So what are you telling me? That Tinubu is working? Ladies and gentlemen, come 2027, we must get things right. The APC, during their party primaries, they overbloated their figures. And the reason they did that was they're trying to intimidate us. They're trying to intimidate Nigeria. They're trying to come and tell us that, because the president got, is it 12 million votes in the primaries? That means automatically during the 2027 election, he has gotten 12 million votes. That is a lie. Don't allow anybody to deceive you. That is a lie. You saw it for yourself. The way they counted those numbers during their party primaries. They lied. They overbloated those numbers in broad daylight. They deliberately did it. They're trying to intimidate you. They're trying to make you lose hope. They're trying to put fear in your heart. They're trying to intimidate you so that on the day of election, you're going to give up and say, oh, there's no need. President Tinubu has already gotten it. That's a lie. That is a lie. So, ladies and gentlemen, come 2027, we must get things right. But before 2027, I will still maintain my stance that it is never the way. It will not lead us anywhere. It will only embolden them more to continue to do the nonsense that they have been doing. So today, I urge you all, if you've been quiet, if you've been silently watching, thinking that all these problems that Nigeria is having today will not touch you, the day it will touch you, you will still come to social media to come and cry. And that day, just as you have been silent, that day, a lot of people are going to be very silent because when they were shouting, you were quiet. So now is the time. We need everybody's voice. All hands has to be on deck. We need to voice out. And there's just so much that can be done. I'm going to make a video on how I feel and believe strongly that Nigerians can actually defend their vote come 2027 during the election. I'm going to make a video about it. But for now, this is me telling you all that being silent and watching all of this madness happening in Nigeria, it doesn't mean that you are safe. It doesn't mean that your life is going to be better and rosier than the life of the average Nigerian. The madness and the chaos in Nigeria, it goes around like a wild wind. And the day it sweeps you off your feet, you'll be shocked. Because now you think nothing can happen to you. Now you think you're untouchable. But trust me, the day it reaches your doorstep, the way it touches any of your loved ones, trust me, that day you will realize how serious the situation is. I'm going to stop talking here right now. I would love to hear from all of you. If there's anybody that would like to contribute to the conversation, please go ahead and click the link in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. All right. Please click the link in the comment section if you would love to be a part of this conversation. I would like to thank TDI 8281 for the gift. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Yeah, thank you so much. Is there anybody here that wants to share? All right, so we have Okuroma. Okuroma, you're welcome to the conversation. How are you?
I'm fine. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the conversation.
Okay, so basically, I will start from the fact that it's really sad and discomforting and heartening that these things are actually evidential, and it's affecting each and every one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that thinks that this thing is not affecting them is only deceiving themselves, honestly
Absolutely.
speaking. Now, if we start weighing the things that are happening currently, this government has failed us back to back, back to back.
Absolutely.
It's not. That's how the thing is now. There's nowhere you will go currently that you will not have one or two persons talking about the issues of this country. There was a
Mm-hmm.
podcast I was listening to. There's one man. Is it Dejigiwa or whatever his bloody name is?
That's
One
that's that humor, that
that
element.
useless man. It's God that will punish him wherever he is.
Did you see
For
the
you
video?
to
Sorry for
be
cutting you short. Did you see the video that he was complaining about the cost of electricity?
exactly. I saw the
And then he
video.
was coming to come and spew all that crap.
I saw the video, and in my mind, I'm like, if I had the gun somewhere, that woman would just be dead in an instant. I will not lie to you.
Please, oh, don't.
So
That's
I swear,
extreme.
no, no, that's now, it has gotten so bad that even the mere things that an average Nigerian can afford is even more expensive.
Yes. Yes.
You can't
100%.
even bread that you can buy for 500 naira, 1,000 naira. Nice. You can't go to the market and see it that price. It's close to 2,000 naira or so.
It's
That aside,
2005. Yeah.
that, that aside, on the issue of security, the last time I checked, from when I was being brought up till now, you do not negotiate with terrorists.
Yes.
Like you do not. Abacha said it in one of his interviews. If insurgency lasts more than 24 hours, the government is hand in it. That
Mm-hmm.
tells you that these guys are working hand in hand with bandits.
Exactly. I believe that.
Guys are working hand in hand with bandits, and they are not going to stop anytime soon. It's not even about the election.
Okorima, are you there? We can't hear you anymore. Guys, can you hear him? Please, if you can hear him, let me
No,
know.
we can't hear him.
We can't
Oh,
hear him.
I can't hear him.
We can't hear
Okorima,
him.
oh no. Okorima, I think it's your network. So please do us a favor. Please work on your network, all right? And then when you come back, I mean Omo. Queen Omo.
Where do I start? Where do I start? Where do I start? I really, unfortunately, right? I don't know why we're surprised by this because isn't this the same president that we have that the toll gate massacre happened and nobody has answered for it all these years?
No, that was Buhari, the late
No, 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 no,
Buhari.
no, no, no. But Shebi Tinubu isn't that his family that owns the
Oh yeah.
Lekki toll gate? Nobody can answer. This is the thing. The thing about Nigeria is a very interesting country. I was there for the first time in January for the first time, and I stayed for 3 weeks. But that 3 weeks, for 2 weeks, I was sick. I got sick. I had to like go back immediately because I was sick. You get what I'm saying? Because the healthcare system, we already know about that one. That's not. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But Glory, tell me why I spent 3 weeks in Nigeria and I spent 10 million naira.
Huh?
I spent 10 million naira for a 3 week vacation.
Wow.
Every, we're not even going to talk about that. But like I've always said, Boko Haram is an inside job. I've always said that all these things is happening. And the thing is that I feel like Nigerians are, I love our people, but at the same time, our priorities are messed up. We have
Mm-hmm.
kids missing. We have over 80 kids missing. But yet yesterday we went to go and do Ojude Oba.
Like,
We went to go do Ojude Oba. But you know somebody said it in the comments yesterday. Somebody was just like, these terrorists and bandits, they are targeting the wrong people. Because Ojude Oba came, because you know that Ojude Oba is people, is Yoruba people that flew from all over the world to attend this. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They would have collected their ransom proper in that place. And I'm not even wishing bad on anybody, but it just baffles my mind that 2 years old, 2 year old, 3 year olds are missing. They told their mommy and daddy were going to school. They're missing in a forest. Nobody can get it. Nobody can do it. Listen, let me tell you something. Should be Jackpot, should be every Nigerian. I mean, I cannot speak for what's it called? I've been here since I was 8. I've been in America since I was 8. I was raised here. But every Nigerian prayer right now is to jackpot. But the sad reality is the world is about to get hot for Nigeria because they're about to deem all of us unsafe.
Yes, it's
And when they
happening already.
ban traveling, everybody's not going to be stuck in the same country that
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants to run from. Let's be honest. Let me
It's
be factual
happening.
with you. Let me be factual with you. Tinubu is there for the money. He does
Mm-hmm.
not care. Which is funny to me because you're already filthy rich. What else do you need? You like power. That's the problem. But the reality is, Tinubu does not care about them. I mean, they elected a drug lord that never denied being a drug lord as a president. What did we really expect? Did we expect rainbows and sunshine? No, he does not care about us. Nigeria keeps getting worse. But let me make something abundantly clear. These terrorists is not coincidental. It's not coincidental.
Mm-hmm.
Coincidental is that, oh, they kidnap people in Kwara and then they kidnap in another state another place in Kwara. No. Or this is deliberate target. This is deliberate target. This is a lot of things. But do Nigerians care? No. But I can't blame for Nigerians for not caring. Because do you know how many times what's it called? Glory, people are suffering in Nigeria. Let me repeat myself. People are suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even a bougie girl because me, I went to my local places in Nigeria to eat. Bruh, people are suffering.
Mm-hmm.
The men, I looked at the prices. I went to stores now. I looked at prices. We're saying people stink in Nigeria. Please, how do you expect someone that never eat belle food to afford 5,000 naira deodorant?
Oh.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. The fact of the matter is, Nigeria will always be like this because the thing is that here's the thing: Nigeria is being done under dictatorship. Because I know world history. I actually love history. Because the thing is that Tinubu is telling people, wait. The thing is that if we protest, is no point. It's no
Mm-hmm.
point of protesting because they don't listen. Should be in broad daylight. They're saying that Tinubu in this regime has 12 million votes. You and who? Who is your father and mother that's saying that?
Mm.
12 million? Are we okay? Nobody's talking about these kids, these 2-year-old kids. Nobody's talking about that. The thing is that Nigeria has become so decentralized. Like social media now, I literally logged off. I like last year, October, I deleted social media. And then I created a new one for my book page, my book club, and stuff like that. But like, it's so sad to see that every single day it's something else. If a pastor's not being beheaded, if this is not being, it's just sad at this point. It's sad because it's just like, where is it gonna get better? Ever since I was young, they said Nigeria might die. Nigeria will be great. It'll be great. In what world is Nigeria gonna be great? The dollar don't. I mean, the naira don't mean nothing anymore. For a family, I know. I just wanna go. I just wanna tell you. I just wanna make you understand some things. For makeup for my cousin's wedding that I came for 10 people. Please, why is makeup costing me 1 million naira?
One.
Why is makeup costing me 1 million naira?
Yo.
For a simple Uber to Ogun State, it cost me 120,000. And that was because I didn't want to take the family car because I was on a what's it called? A criminal mission. And my parents must not know. But you get what I'm saying? Like, why is everything so expensive? If I am from abroad and I'm saying 10 million to me was crazy for 3 weeks, how do the people living back home feel?
How many people can even afford 1 million in Nigeria currently? What's even 1 million? 500,000.
And what's it called? And you know the funny thing, the reason why I even paid that 10 million is because I didn't want to stay in my family house. I want to stay there. I stayed in a Airbnb. I wanted my own privacy. After a while, my daddy was just like, have you learned your lesson?
Is Queen here? Queen, we can't hear you anymore. Oh my God. Okay. whilst we are waiting for Queen to come back, Okoroma is back. Okoroma, please, can you just continue from
Gloria,
where you stopped?
I
Yeah,
can't
we
hear you.
lost you.
Okay. As I was saying, it's crazy because now, like I was saying something about terrorists. At the end of the day, what I
Yes.
know clearly is you do not negotiate with terrorists. I've never seen
Yeah,
that in any way that you negotiate with terrorists. Because reconciliation of a terrorist is between the terrorist and his God. Reconciliation of a bandit is between the bandit and his God. The job of the government, the job of the army is to arrange that meeting sharply. Because I don't know if anybody is not feeling the heat, we are all feeling it. We are all feeling it. So they need to do something about it. Now you are saying the way this guy is going. Okay, the SPC primaries that they did. Look at the amount of votes that he pulled. 10.9 million. From where? As how? And now other parties are copying the same pattern. And now the way I'm looking at itself, if there's a possibility that there might not even be election itself with the way things are going, because these guys are ready to rig to the fullest.
They are not
These
even
guys are ready to rig. They are not hiding it. They are ready to rig as much as they can. So that's the problem we are facing. That's the problem we are facing. We need there needs to be a change. There needs to really be a serious change. You can't even go out when you want to. Now, even in Abuja, where I am currently, you can't even go out at night. The incessant rate of kidnapping now and the rate of snatching of cars is that bad. Abuja that used to be very safe. Now you can't even go out at night. That tells you the highest level of insecurity. Children are still being held captive, and the government had the effrontery to celebrate Children's Day. You see how bad. That's how the situation is. You now, as that aside, is it what festival again were they doing? What do they call that festival again? Ojude something. Exactly. You have the effrontery. These people are still go on celebrating as if nothing is happening, and it's in the same southwest states that this rubbish is happening. They're not doing anything. They are making it look like nothing. They're not even showing any form of concern. You know, things are just going sideways upon sideways. And what's come to us, the average Nigerian is selfish. Let's leave the government aside and let's focus on the average Nigerian. See, as long as an average Nigerian is safe, let's say, for example, anything that benefits the one average Nigerian, the other person that is suffering, it doesn't concern him at all.
Absolutely.
So that it doesn't concern him at all, or her. So that mindset alone is a problem. If you don't kill that mindset, how will you start tackling these people that are up there and using all this the same mindset to infiltrate us? Leave that aside. Let's go to the religion part of it. These days, I keep telling myself, I will always tell my child to have a personal relationship with God. But you see these church people, especially these pastors, don't worry. It's only God that will judge them. Because at the end of the day, the majority of them are seeing what is happening. Although some of them are speaking out, no doubt. But the majority of them are seeing what is happening, and they are entertaining it, and they are not doing anything about it. You are not speaking out. You are not saying anything. You are not even. This kind of people, you shouldn't even entertain them in your church premises. You understand? So these are the problems we are facing. The religion and politics go together. So if you can't take one you can't take one out of the other. They have to come together. So these are the things that are holding us in this country. These are the things that are holding us in this country, and it's getting worse by the day.
Yes.
Like, on the issue of lights, which one is band A, which one is band B? This is the first time in years I'm hearing that kind of rubbish. You segregate. This is a clear case of segregation. You segregate one person, you segregate another person, you segregate another person. What are you doing? What rubbish is that? Only in this government? When is that happening? You will load light of 10,000. It won't even take you up to 1 week. It will finish. That is one part. So it's now okay. They said let youth come into politics. Let everybody come and do politics. Are you ready? Who is ready to? Which youth now can boast of 100 million naira now for nomination form?
Like, why are
These
the
guys,
forms so expensive?
that's what I'm saying. This one, what they are just using that as a bait. It's just in the constitution that yes, youth can participate in politics. But you and I know that not everybody can afford it. If you say you want to
Mm-hmm.
contest for governorship, you need close to just for mosquito campaign alone, you need close to $500 million just to contest for governorship. Oh, you need close to $500 million.
Mm-hmm.
Where in God's name are you going to get that kind of money from? Me where they talk, I don't even see 1 billion in my eye.
It's
So
ridiculous.
that's how bad the system is. It has been so corrupted and polluted to the extent that people are just everybody seems to have just given up. Everybody have seemed to have just given up. It keeps getting worse by the day. You can't take your car out. There's no way you take your car out and you go and come back. Your fuel will go down. How much to even fill a full tank? You are talking of 40,000, 50,000, even more than that, safe. So
And
that's
that's
how bad
depending
it
on the
is.
car.
That's how bad it is. So it's crazy.
All
It's something that
right.
we keep seeing every day, and it's biting into the system.
Yeah.
So that's my contribution.
Thank you so much, Okoroma, and thank you so much for coming back to conclude your contribution. Thank you. Let's speak with moments with me. I can't see the rest of your name. You're
Thank
welcome
you.
to the conversation. Moments with moments with me. Is it Mimi or Miriam?
Hello.
Oh yes, you're welcome. Welcome to the conversation.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank
Welcome.
you. Hello, everybody. Honestly, I'm just so angry to be a Nigerian right now. Glory, thank you for using your voice and your platform, to speak the mind of Nigerians. So
Thank you.
quickly, I will stand on everything Queen was saying before she left us, and I'll just add a little bit. To be honest, I feel like Nigerians' main issue is fear. And while I understand that fear, because during 2020 NSAS protests, it didn't end the way we expected. People were killed, like we were shot at. So
Mm,
that's a trauma that we haven't healed from, and
yeah.
it's still there. I don't think anybody in Nigeria is having it easy right now, even if you have money. It's just hard to be a
Mm-hmm.
Nigerian. And the world is also like shutting us out, right? I'm in South Africa, and even if where I am is safe, even though where I am is safe, it's the fear of just being in an environment where you're not wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have businesses, everybody's like, come home, but like you turn on the news at home and you're like, okay, I shut down my business here and I come home and I have mouths to feed, I have kids, and I come home. What exactly is there for me? What am I going to do at home? How is it going to be easy to transition back
Mm-hmm.
home? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody is considering these things. Nobody, it's just like everybody is just moving on from one bad news to another.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's just that unspoken fear that everybody has. Now, we all agree Nigeria, due to our population, we have like social media presence. Like, you know, our voice on social media can be loud. But sadly, just always for the wrong things, or like when people want to use us, like maybe for advertisement, or like, you know, just to grow something, whenever they just want to use us, they come to Nigeria. But we are our own problem, because we say there is tribalism, Glory, you touched on that. We say there's tribalism, we say religion is our problem. But I really wonder how this is a problem, right? Because we all live together. I've been in SA for a while. During Salah, Christmas, it's quiet. Like when I came for the first 3 years, I would like cook and give to people, but nobody ever like does that back, everybody's minding their business, and you find that people come to like Nigeria is always hot during December, and people say, oh, Nigerians are accommodating, Nigerians are nice, because truly we are. If not for like all the evils that we've gotten used to, we are actually good people. And I don't understand why we just tend to disagree when we actually need to choose probably like the right candidate to vote to lead us or to do positive things. Like we all travel, we see how good things can be. Why can't we replicate it back home? Like, why do we have an issue with managing and maintaining what God has given us? I can't wrap my head around it, because when other countries things are going well, we respect what their laws, we are abiding, we enjoy being there, but we go home and there's just this culture of silence. You see somebody dying, you can't lend your voice. People are hungry. You can, I mean, you do for the social media. You go out, you share cash, you make videos, and that's it. Like, I can't wrap my head around it. But again, we're always talking problems. So I feel like today I just want to say, what is the solution, right? Really, because we all know that we go to vote. Realistically, I don't think our vote is going to count. They're already showing us what they're going to do, through the primaries already. And imagine after doing that, no Nigerian is even condemning the way they counted the primaries. They really came to conclusion with the numbers. Nobody has condemned it. Yes, not even the judicial people. Nobody. And if they could do that in primaries, then imagine what they're going to do in the main election. So we say, okay, let's come out to protest. I'm guessing they'll probably send tear gas at us or kill us. I'm not sure what the solution is. Now that's why I said we do have social media presence, it is strong. How about we even have one voice? Like I said, when this whole thing of this xenophobic thing started in SA, it wasn't a big thing, right? It was just one small province. They were dissatisfied by whatever was happening, and then it came out. But to be honest, when I go on their own news and I check comments, I kid you not, everybody is saying the same thing. And we all know that the government is not with them, and that's why it's not worse than it is, right? Because the policemen are not stopping people on the road. So everything is going business as usual, especially like when you're in like white suburbs and in state, right? So you can tell that the government is not with them. You can just tell that it is the mostly uneducated people that are perpetrating those things. So I would more like to generalize. But at the end of the day, you can see that they are the people with one voice. And I listened to their leader, the girl, recently, and they literally did like a forum where they were speaking out like the actions that they are expecting from their government, right, moving forward. And it was very clear, like however stupid it sounded, like however lame it sounded, like they had clear objectives, they knew what they wanted. Like, how about we stand on business like that? And like I said, I don't believe election is the way forward right now, because Tinubu obviously is not willing to leave that seat. And all the politicians around him, we can all see the way they are not even talking about the evils that is going on, the children that spend Children's Day in the forest. Nobody, like not even Tinubu's wife, who is supposed to be a mother, has addressed that. We should already know where we stand. That's why I said that I'm with Queen on this. We know they don't care for us. So as a people, how about the great minds, people who have influence, come together, people who are lawyers, who know the constitution in and out, come together and let us have clear call to action, clear things, demands that we want to see. And then maybe we can through that have one voice. Because me, I'm not going to buy the fact that Nigerians are saying, "Oh, we don't love one another." There's tribal. Why that is also happening? I don't believe that, because we're marrying each other. There was a time when tribes don't marry in Nigeria. We're marrying each other. We're living together in peace. Other countries come to Nigeria and they have fun. So if we can have fun together and marry and recreate, procreate, then why would we say we hate each other or we cannot have one voice? I just feel like it's just because we don't have a leader, we don't have like direction. So we need direction. We need to know what we want from 2027, right? And let us maximize the social media presence that we have as a people. That's my stand, because honestly, living in fear, living in confusion is tiring, and this silence is not going to help us. We need to maximize, because I saw something somebody posted. Someone went to Mauritius, a group of Nigerians went to Mauritius for a holiday, and upon getting there, after interrogating them vigorously, they were denied visas. This is after watching other people, sliding in. And it's like, is it a crime to be a Nigerian? And then you go on the comment section and you see influential people that are influencers with thousands of followers saying, hey, make una sit down for house. And I'm like, why should I sit down for house? God gave us this world to dominate. And if I can afford to see it, why can't I see it? You as an influencer, you travel the world. So me as an ordinary person, because I'm Nigerian, I should not see the world. So we need to do better with how we present ourselves to the world, because this whole thing is happening because they know, number one, that the government does not care for us, and we outwardly do not care for each other, because I know that inwardly Nigerians like each other. There's nowhere you go to and you see a fellow Nigerian that you won't sort of relate, or you won't break bread or something. But when it comes to doing good things, it becomes a problem. So I feel like, for me, I just want to probably shed a little light on solutions today, and hope that we can understand that we need to have one voice. That is what is going to save us. We need to figure out how to stand together as one, put away religion and tribes, and know that nobody's going to come and save us. Very soon, the world is going to not allow us come into their countries anymore, and we will not have a choice but to live and dine with the devils that we have allowed to rule us in Nigeria. And it will be worse, because it's actually always every day getting worse. Every day you turn on the news, it is worse. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I can't hear you, Glory, but yeah.
Can you hear
I
me?
hope you guys got me. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. Guys, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please let me know. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, great. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
yes.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Guys, can you hear
Thank
me?
you. Thank
If you
you
can hear me, please
to.
let me know. Can you all hear me?
Okay.
Yes, we can hear
Um,
you.
Oh, great. Thank you.
all right. Thanks to Moments with, I can't see your name. Sorry, it's not really coming out on my screen, but thank you to the speaker. Very, very valid points. There's something that is currently happening. As a matter of fact, it's been happening for the longest time, right? Now, speaking with one voice, very, very strong solution. However, speaking with one voice requires a lot of mobilization. And if you look around, that is what most of these old political parties have been doing. And recently, the NDC and the ADC, they've also started doing it. Creating a political party in Nigeria, the system makes it so difficult. I was watching the news the other day, and I listened to one of the news anchor explain that to register a political party in Nigeria requires you to have representation from different regions around the country. So if you do not have that complete, and as well as certain other requirements, you cannot register a political party in Nigeria. There's so many political parties that were not allowed to register when INEC opened the room for people to come register political parties. And these were some of the issues that they faced. Now, aside registering a political party, how do you now mobilize? Social media is a very, very good avenue to get people, to mobilize people, to start educating people on these things, and pushing for people to speak more, to be more vocal, about what is happening, about what they're experiencing, sharing their experiences, and also calling out the government on their inadequacies. However, grassroots mobilization is equally as important. I wouldn't want to say it is even more important, but it is also equally important, especially in a society like Nigeria. The population is over 200 million people. If you want to do a proper calculation of the amount of people who use social media, who are active users of social media, I do not know, and I am not sure if that number is over 100 million. I am not sure. All right. I am not sure. So, what does that tell you? It tells you that most of the people who do not get this kind of information we are sharing now on social media, they definitely get it elsewhere. And that is what a party like the APC does. Yes. What do? They capitalize on that information. They capitalize on that lapse to their advantage. They go to these poor communities, these communities where they are sure that these people, they know nothing. They don't know anything. They are like a sponge. It is whatever you put them on that they soak up. They know nothing. They are vulnerable. They are poor. They are wretched. So what do? They go to those people. Sometimes they intimidate them and they give them peanuts. And that is how they buy those people's loyalty. A lot of those people do not even know the power that they have. They do not even understand that it is because of the power that they possess that we even have these politicians in power in the first place. If I wasn't educated, if I wasn't exposed, I would not know what I know today. So there are a lot of people that are the complete opposite of what we are. There are a lot of people that are the complete opposite of what we know. A lot of people don't even have this information. So how do we now begin to speak with one voice? Grassroots penetration, grassroots mobilization. Yes, we can talk and talk and talk on social media, but if we do not back it up by doing outreaches that reaches out to these people in the most vulnerable communities and helping them to understand that, listen, where you are today can be better if you vote the right candidate and if you do not sell your vote or even sell your choice. Yeah. If we're able to do that, then we are winning the fight. If we're not able to do that, we're not going anywhere. And that is why my own role in all of this is on the online space, on social media, where I have the communities, right? And I will not stop giving accolades to the individuals that I have seen already penetrating these vulnerable communities. I saw a video on TikTok the other day of this woman that went to Makoko. She went to Makoko. If you are familiar with Makoko, it's like a waterlogged area where people build wooden structures as houses, and that is where they live. It is on that water that they live. It is on that water that their children go to school. It is on that water that they trade, they do their businesses. That is where they live. A lot of people grew up there, became old, died. That is their community. And currently, that community is kind of endangered in a way that the government of the state is looking at selling a portion of that community or probably the whole of that community to private investors, meaning that they are going to be chasing away all of those people from that environment and selling their land, that place that they call home, to private investors. In other words, people are going to become homeless very soon. Yeah, so that is even another conversation for another day. And when we talk about a government that lacks empathy, that is an example of it. But anyways, the example I was giving is that I saw a young woman and some other people, they're like a group, they were going to that community and a couple of other communities around. They had a megaphone and they were preaching the gospel of knowing your right. They were preaching the gospel of how to exercise your voters' right to these people. And I just could not help but applaud them. Now, people like that, they know how to penetrate those communities. They know how to reach out to those communities. And some of them are doing that already. But we need more people who can do it. If you are not on ground to do it, if you have people who are familiar with those environments, who can go into those communities. If you need access and you have people who have the access, then if you have the resources, you can sponsor them, you can push them, or in your own little or massive way, you can contribute to the movement. Yes. And if you're asking about how we can begin to speak with one voice, I strongly believe that that is one way that we can, together as a people, begin to speak with one voice. So thank you very much to the last speaker for that. Okay, let's speak with Ovi Man. Mr. Ovi, you're welcome to the conversation.
Hello, Glory. Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Thank you so much, Glory. Greetings to you. Greetings to everyone listening, the panelists and everyone. And Glory, some of us will be a bit faster because Gunners are going to leave the Champions League today. So, and it has and it has already started. So yeah, but
Okay.
I said what we are doing here is actually more important to me. So I said I was definitely going to be part of it first. And before I get in, I feel like it's good now that we are starting to have this conversation about tribalism, because sometimes I always try to mention it. And like you said, there are some people that don't understand that the whole power actually is reliant on them as the people, because some people feel like they don't have any power. These people will use money. You have to ask yourself, who are they? What are they doing with the money? They say they will buy people. Who are they buying? You as a person. So it means that if you don't have any say, or if they don't need your approval, they wouldn't want to buy you. So they have, even if they have all the money in the world, if they don't have you, it's useless. So that's why they are buying people. That's why they are buying the people. That's why they are coming with rice and 500 and all those jargons that they are giving those people to forget their future. And look at the result. Look at the result so far. So we need to understand that people need to understand that they can't do anything without your consent. Even among the occult, the occult and all these diabolical people, they can't do anything without your consent. We are in a world that is filled with demonic activities. But those demons cannot even penetrate anyone without that person giving them the avenue to come in, or the entrance. Because if not, everybody will be demonic. In fact, if not, we won't be able to live among each other in this world. So we need to understand that we still have, as a people, it's all depends on your consent. If you say they are buying people, if you don't present yourself to be bought, they can't buy you.
Yeah.
And their money will be useless. And that's what these people don't understand. But they've been ruling by deception. So they deceive people that they don't have any power, that even if you don't vote for us, we'll be there. Now, try just experiment, and don't don't come out for them. Don't even take their money, and just go out for the right candidate and see how it will be. They will be too ashamed. They will know clearly that they've lost. Even they can't rig. So that's, as much as we know that they are rigging, what they do with the rigging is that they inflate the numbers.
Yeah.
But they still have people that voted for them. Let's not delude ourselves that they don't have people that voted for them. They have people that voted for them. What they can do, instead of 1 million, they can write 150 million, something like that. Or instead of 1,000, they can write 10,000. But they had 1,000. So our target is those 1,000, And you see, I had one of our wonderful panelists that said, we are having fun, we are mingling with each other, we are marrying each other, and we can't be that tribal. Yeah, the truth of the matter is that marriage, friendship does not stop tribalism.
True.
It doesn't. Like, some people can marry because of some people can even go and maybe go and engage in some relationship or intimacy with somebody from another community because of maybe it's their fetish, or maybe they want to try something like that. It doesn't mean that they don't have any bias towards the community that person is from.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at even the history of the slavery and all these things, do you know there are so many of those guys that the only thing that they wanted to do was to lay with black women.
Mm-hmm.
Does it mean that they love black women? See, the black women were still in chains with the black men. So up till now, it's still going on in several parts of the world, especially like in Africa. There's what is called even sex tourism. It's going on. It's very big, especially in East Africa and Southern Africa.
Mm.
These guys are coming. I don't know if you saw the news of the Russian man that was doing according to him, is doing experiments. And imagine using people for experiments, that he wants to see how many black women will agree for him, to do whatever he wanted to do.
Wow.
And according to him, he said he had over 400 and something people. So
Wow.
imagine looking at him one day on the mall and seeing him with one black lady, and you say, oh, that the white people actually love us, they don't hate us. Meanwhile, the man is on an experiment
Hmm.
journey. So we can't really say that, because, to be honest, I've seen what's the name of this there's one comedian, maybe without mentioning names. There's one comedian we know in Nigeria that is married to an Igbo woman.
Hmm.
He has kids. I think his family is now living there's law in his name. So
Hmm.
the, you know
Oh. Hmm.
yeah, thank you. But the
Oh.
man during the last election, he pushed tribal hatred
He's a
against the Igbo,
bigot.
against the Igbo people. And they were asking him in one of the interviews that, but your wife is from that community. He said it doesn't matter. Then they told him that, what if your kids decide to run for the way you're pushing this thing? If your kids come out and they are discriminated, in Yoruba land, what will you do? He said, oh, if his kids, because he was trying to justify his stupidity, he said,
Hmm.
even though if his kids come out and say something against Yoruba or whatever, they should not support them.
Hmm.
So my point is that is not, we can't use that, because we have seen it. Even apart from that, I have even personal experiences. I've seen people, you can be married. I've seen husbands from different community, but they have bigotry against the community their wife is from.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens a lot. It's just because sometimes they see women, it's still that thing of misogyny, and maybe seeing women as they are not the main people you should be attacking. But what's the point if they love you as just you for being a wife, and they hate everybody from your community? How does that help? Maybe they hate your fathers, your brothers, and they don't even love you. They're trying to, it's just like a fetish, or they're trying to get your culture, or they're trying to show something to some people. It doesn't mean that, so my point is that we need to start having the conversation around tribalism. And Africa generally is where it is today because of tribalism.
Hmm.
Because if you look at it this way, these politicians, the incompetent ones, the ones that are corrupt, that totally incapable ones, they will not be there today if they didn't first rally around their people from whatever tribe they think they came from to push themselves forward. You know, they'll first of all come out with this tribal rhetoric and start saying that we are, our people, our people. Before you know, they come out as the kingpin of their people. Then before
Hmm.
you know, they are now in the center of the politics. Then they
Mm.
use their people to negotiate. So even if you get someone that is very credible from another community, they will come out and say, no, no, no. We look at that interview that is trending. They asked the woman, "Will you vote for who? Will you vote for between Tinubu and who?" She said, "Is APC." And the man was asking him why. There must be a reason. He didn't. She didn't. She said no. That just APC because of APC. That she doesn't even know what's going on. So
Mm.
even the prayer you were praying, Glory. I'm thinking that prayer will affect a lot of people.
Ah,
you
yes,
know,
it should.
yeah, that prayer will affect a lot of people. So that's what is going on, and I just hope that we are able to start having that conversation around tribalism, because that is what these people have used to kind of hold down the whole, everybody. People are, I said it some time back that is it when this thing will reach Lagos, that's when Nigerians will come out.
It's getting close.
Because if it's in Ibadan, or Ibadan is it not the second largest city is it in southwest or in Nigeria? I can't tell for sure.
And it's just about, I think, 2 hours away or 3 hours away from Lagos.
Yes, and the way Nigerians have been so docile, I won't be surprised if that thing enter Badagry, people will still be going their normal day's
Uh-uh.
job as if, you know, because I know Lagos very well because I spent a lot of years in Lagos. And I know that this thing can be happening in somewhere like Agbara, and Nigerians in where is that place? In Ikeja and all these places, they'll still be going out as if nothing is happening. Now you have children. I saw that woman when she was pleading. I was, my eyes was heavy because you don't understand what it means to be in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
You don't understand what it means to be in that situation. And I heard that the governor is saying that the drones that they will use to go and survey the forest will be ready by the end of June.
Eh?
Can you imagine that?
Oh God, it's so annoying too. Ah, Mr.
So
Ovie,
so
it's
yeah.
sad.
It,
Yeah, Mr. Ovie.
mm,
Let me touch on the conversation of tribalism. When Buhari was in power,
mm,
the North, they were solidly behind him, regardless of whatever he did. Yeah. There's
yeah.
currently this man that wrote a book for him, about him, and it seems like the man is on a mission to whitewash and launder his image now that he's dead. And every
Mm,
time I see that snippets of that man's interview, I feel so disgusted. I move away from it because he's really doing a serious image laundering job for the
mm,
late former president. But that's on the side. What I'm saying is, when we talk about tribalism, how
mm,
Nigerians allow tribalism to blind their sense of judgment. It's a real thing in Nigeria because when Buhari was in power, doing whatever he was doing, and then the Lekki massacre thingy happened, and people from the north were defending him. And that people in the north, they refused to protest during the answers, they refused to join. Why? They said, oh, it was their person that was in power and blah, blah,
mm,
blah. So they did not join. Yeah. So that tribalism thing was a key factor for why they did not stand united with the other Nigerian youths who were fighting against police brutality. And then when the massacre happened, they were still defending the president. Now we have a new president who is more southwest focused,
mm,
and the North are not really benefiting from his rulership. I put it because this is not leadership, I'm saying it's like rulership. So they are
mm,
not really benefiting. So now they are very much aggrieved, they are angry. There are videos all over the internet of them vandalizing posters and billboards that has the current president's pictures, and they
mm,
are they are pushing against it. And because of that, the majority of them, they
mm,
are Kwankwaso's followers. And then there's also another majority of them that are defending Atiku, you see. And if you
mm,
think about it, It's because of tribalism. They are not following these people because okay, I can say that okay, people that are actually following Kwakwaso, possibly because of he's tested and trusted, right? For them. They've
Mm,
seen what he's capable of doing and they
mm,
believe in him, but it's more like a cult following. But if you think of it from another angle, it also boils down to tribalism that, oh, even if it's supposed to be the South having
mm,
another 4 years in power, oh, so
mm,
long as somebody that they actually prefer and like and is also tested and trusted and is
mm.
their person, they will push for that person. And that's what they are doing. But they're also mad at the current president. Why? Because the bulk of the what's that thing they call it? Appointments. Most of
Mm,
the major appointments, you can tell that it's mostly for his people, the
mm.
Southwesterners, right? So what you said about tribalism, it is a huge problem that
Yeah,
blocks the sense of reasoning of a lot of Nigerians. And it's
yeah.
just really sad.
Glory, you see, you put it the perfect way. You see, the North, to be honest with you, all those things they are doing, we are not complaining about APC like for them. Or I don't know if maybe they should not get it wrong because they are even, their politicians are even worse. So
Mm-hmm.
what we are saying is that um and it's even worse in their side because it's not just tribalism, it's also now they now kind of embalm it with
Religion.
religious bigotry and the kind of religion where they can't even ask questions,
Mm-hmm.
the kind of religion where as if their soul is controlled. So
Mm-hmm.
like many some of them can't even think. I'm not saying all of them because I've seen quite a number of them that are speaking against the corrupt politicians, but I'm talking about a lot of, especially the unexposed and the poorer people that don't
Mm.
understand some of these things. A lot of them, they can't even think out of that. If you ask them what have tinubu done against them now, some of them they don't even know. The only thing they know is that some of their imam and some of their useless politicians are shouting that they don't want Tinubu. So they all just follow. Hey, we don't want Tinubu. Ask them what has Tinubu even. In fact, I can't believe that I can even be on the supporting the president. But ask them what has Tinubu even done to them. They don't know, many of them,
It is
because
what we are told.
yeah, it's what they are told because he has not changed the status quo. Okay, let's say that there are some people that he has more appointments coming from his side, the southwest. But that's exactly what Buhari did.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the appointments was from the north, was from Fulanis were everywhere in the appointments. So
Mm.
I don't even see. But if you're talking about the same privileges that they're enjoying in terms of how much they are getting, special treatment, all those things are still there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's as if now they wanted appointment, they wanted the major appointments.
Mm.
And the major appointment, maybe who is controlling the military, who is controlling, all those type of things. They
Mm.
wanted the major appointment, central bank. So once they can't get all of these things, then those people that like to use them, their politicians now went to use the same means. That's why they don't like them being exposed, or
Mm.
because they want to keep feeding them the same lies every
Mm.
election cycle. That
Mm.
because they don't want their people exposed.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing we are complaining about APC, we are doing it with our eyes open. We are not doing it because of the North are complaining, because we don't. Many of them don't even know what they are complaining about. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that they have told them that our people is not in some power. You know, so, like exactly what we are saying, the tribalism is something we need to start talking about, educating our people, talking to our people as much as possible, because
Mm-hmm.
it's a real thing and they will use it. The problem is that we might pretend that is not there, but these people are ready to use it during this. You see, they've already started. They've already started. It's going to keep going like that, and it's going to be worse. So we should be ready for them. We should be ready to be countering every single thing that they are putting out in the media. We counter it. That's why we are all online. They are gone are those days when they are controlling the whole narrative with their mainstream media.
Mm.
Nowadays, everybody has an equal ground. Even them, they are also in social media. They have their agents, their people are on social media. But now they are not just the only ones on social media. You have people like frankly speaking with Glory. We have other people that are there doing the work. So that's just what is going on. And Glory, keep
Yeah.
on doing what you're doing, and
Thank you.
keep on
Yeah.
putting out the message. And uh, I will still maintain for all these Belevis and all these active. It doesn't matter what they call themselves. For you have to think. Never outsource your thinking capacity to anybody.
Yeah.
You should be able to listen and make rational decisions based on how you've understood what that person is saying. If someone is saying the truth, it will click in your brain. That's why you have brain. Your spirit will catch it that yes, this person is saying the truth. And even the Bible, there's a part in the Bible that said, do not believe every spirit, but try them if they are from God. So you have to be able to to examine all the things you're hearing. Don't be a die-hard fan of anybody. Don't be a do or die fan. Don't be a fan that will go to no. You should be able to support what people are saying, examine what they are saying. There's one
Absolutely.
recently that they say, he was accused. Yeah, he's okay, he was accused, but I've not seen anybody calling for the person that posted that thing or to be
Mm.
to be held though. Some of our people, they easily fall for propaganda and games.
Yeah.
It's a psychological thing. They know how to do it. So if somebody, yes, we agree, very bad. Somebody came and accused you online, terrible. Now that person that came and wrote or that came and doctored the video, that person, have they caught that person? Because if they've not held that person, then that person can be anybody that
They'll say
have done that.
they're still searching, they're still trying to track the person. That's
Yeah,
the language.
that's the thing now, because they know that these Nigerians, they only read, not all Nigerians, but many, they only see black and white. They only
Yeah.
see here or there. They don't know how to read in between the lines. So
Mm.
somebody said this, say that's very good. The person that posted that thing, because how many people have they held for posting things online? Why have they not held this particular person? If they can, me, I'm saying it. I'm not saying that I'm not accusing anybody, but I'm saying if they do not prosecute or take that person and sue him to court or whatever, whoever doctored that, made that AI or altered that video and posted, if they don't find that person, then this whole thing is all gimmicks. It's all gimmicks to try and make somebody look like legit again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all gimmicks.
Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good conversation for another day because I'm over
yeah,
here, I'm looking at that whole display and I'm just laughing because it's nothing new. It's a
exactly.
familiar approach. We've
Eh,
expressed doubts about certain individuals in their path of activism. People
yeah,
have doubted and people have expressed their doubts
they are being
and they
exposed
have
now.
they have been, in fact, they've already been exposed. So
Yeah,
now they are not coming out to speak against the current administration to make it look
mm,
like, oh, we're on the side of. Anyways,
that's so.
well,
Yeah,
it's
yeah. I don't, I
conversation
don't,
for
I,
another day.
I won't go into it, but I'll just end by
Mm,
saying that once they catch the person and they parade the person and they say, oh, this person has been sentenced, and we can
mm.
confirm, then I will believe whatever they are doing. Until then, we're not falling for any of
We're
those
not
games.
falling for it.
All right,
It's all too familiar. Thank you
yeah,
so
thank
much, Mr. Ovi. Thank you. All right. Before I move on to the next speaker, I want to give a shout out to AB Okoli. AB, thank you so much for your gift. I really appreciate you. Always, always, always. God bless you and provide for you, increase your source of income. Thank you so much. All right. Let's speak with Charles. Charles, you are welcome to the conversation. Kindly unmute your mic so we can hear you. Charles, are you there? Hello,
Oh, no,
Charles.
no problem, no problem. I have to go. I have to. I've been waiting here every time I can't hear you. I'll come back on the live. Let me just talk. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Are you gonna come live again next week or
Yes, that'll be next
yeah?
week,
Because I need you to
Saturday.
be coming. I don't know if you can do us a favor. If you can be coming live till the election, I would love that. Because
I will try.
this yeah, this is the only way we can change our country.
I will try.
So you see this insecurity. It started maybe like what 2002, 2003, 4, 5, and it started from Boko Haram. And their ideology states they don't like Western education.
Mhm.
Now, that man, I don't know if you know him, Yusuf, this was an enemy of the government. What the Obasanjo regime did at that time was kill the man. But that was
Mhm.
not the problem. If you go to this northern part, all this northern part, if you see abject poverty, sometimes if you will feel like jailing this government, you will
Mm.
need to jail them because the crime is against humanity. And because of this, they all fell into terrorism. And they feel that's the only way to get payback. This thing started. He entered Jonathan's regime. Jonathan knew who the sponsors were. He never did anything. He even opened his mouth and I said it that they infiltrated his government, but he never did anything. That was my annoyance with him. So when I say Jonathan was a horrible president, because I remember, I don't know if you remember, I came here like 2 or 3 weeks ago to talk with you live, and somebody said Shawara brought Buhari in. And let me remind you that Jonathan was as bad as anything, and I don't know why he wants to come back to run. Maybe he feels morally responsible for what is going on. But he had his time, and his time has passed. He should go. So for me, I want Nigerians to boycott this election. You need to boycott it, and you need to stage a massive protest. I'm not talking about a 1 week. I'm not talking about 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, or 1 week. I'm talking about 2 months or more than that. That you want your country back, because these people will not leave your country alone. They are ready to get their hands dirty. That's how desperate they are. Can you imagine? I watched an interview of a lady. I can't remember her name. She said Tinubu invited her to London, and she
Oh yeah.
asked Tinubu, "What do you have planned for the northern part of Nigeria?" He said he doesn't know. She was like, "Okay, if you don't know, why are you planning to run?" He said, "They will kill me. They will kill him. They will kill me." Who are this day? Who are this day? That was why I said Nigeria don't need an election. What she needs is a revolution. Our security forces have been compromised. Our justice system has been compromised. Our government has been compromised. Now tell me, how can you are you telling me that Nigerian military cannot beat terrorists who are wearing bedroom slippers? Are you for reals? Bedroom slippers. I watched that video. I don't know if you watch it. A
Ah, yeah, I
video
saw
of
the video.
melted jerry can. They melt the jerry can. They put it on the children's body, and those children started
Yeah, I saw
screaming
the
in
picture
agony.
of
I
the.
almost cried.
Yeah, I
I
saw the
cried.
picture.
I said, "These are innocent children. They did not ask to be Nigerian, but look at the suffering." And one nonsense governor is saying he's waiting till June. Don't be surprised. This Oyo kidnapping is a political strategy. Don't be
Yes, no.
surprised. That's how wicked these people are. They are too heartless. Too heartless. That's why I said Nigeria should boycott this election. And don't support any of them. All of them are the same. They don't care about you. If things go south, they will all run away. All of them don't care about this country. They don't even believe that this country can be saved. They don't believe in it. If I should tell you how Naira was more powerful than dollars, a group of IMF came and told you, don't invest in education, invest in refinery. You listen to them. Our Naira collapsed. They came and they told you, yeah, float the Naira. You listen to them. They came and told you, yeah, reduce our purchasing power. You listen to them. What kind of rubbish is this? IMF that Nigeria give money to. That's who we should be listening to. They deliberately remove history from our curriculum system. They know.
Mm-hmm.
They say if you want to achieve something, you must know who you are. If you don't know who you are, you can't achieve it. So they know. So they deliberately remove history from our system. I always ask myself, why is Nigeria not teaching history? US teach history. Every country teach their own history. Why is Nigeria different? They just do it. It's a deliberate brainwash.
And you know what they are
This
doing
election,
now? The
we
people
must
who
get
brought
our
us
country
down to
back.
our
Huh?
knees, I said, what they are doing now, since they removed history from curriculums, the people who brought us to where we are now, they are now writing books and rewriting history, painting
Exactly.
themselves the heroes in the
Exactly.
books they're writing.
Exactly. No problem. Tell you what, Gloria, you will call me what next week, right? Next week or next 2 weeks?
Next week, Saturday, same time.
Please. Because I've been coming here and I don't know, the connection is so bad. But I can't hear you. But no problem. I've passed my message on. I will
All
go
right.
deeper next week, okay? Take care.
Thank you so much, Charles. Thanks for your contribution. All right. Let's speak with Lori. Lori, you're welcome to the conversation. How are you?
Hello,
Lori?
Glory. Did you call me? I can't hear you.
Yes, Lori. Lori, please carry on. The floor is yours. You're welcome.
Hello.
Guys, can you hear me? I don't know. Why can't Lori hear me?
I can't hear you. I don't know if you've called me to
I
speak.
have called you, so
I'm
go
not sure
ahead
why I
and
can't
speak.
hear you.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so Lori, I can hear you clearly. So go ahead and speak. All right. Oh, that's strange. Lori, I'm giving you a thumbs up. You can speak. Like, go ahead and speak. Oh, I don't know what's happening. Okay, I'm going to remove her and then add her back. Lori, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now, Glory. Good
Oh,
evening.
great, great. You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Honestly, the things that are happening in Nigeria, I don't think this can ever happen in any other part of the world.
Hmm.
It's just so sad and so worrisome because as I'm on this live, I saw a poster somewhere on Instagram, I think, that Shea Makinde, which is the governor of the Oyo State, that
Mm,
have his citizens, languishing in the bush. He just got a return ticket to contest for another term. And I'm just wondering, what are you coming to do? Because I have not seen this level of incompetence before. I mean, we've always seen incompetent leadership in Nigeria, but this particular one is so bad that the whole thing started from the very day this government took over power. A government that came to power and just immediately after his inauguration, or what is it called? The first thing he did was to remove subsidy from fuel and scattered everything, just like he just reset the Nigeria economy and everything just went down the drain from there.
mhm,
And then from there, he went ahead and he said he was going to float the Naira. And he devalued the Naira so bad that the Nigerian Naira is now worth nothing. And what is now more crazy is the fact that we are not angry enough as a people.
yep.
You go on the internet, you see people speaking about, the insecurity, things, the hardship in the country, and you go under the comment section, and you are still seeing people laughing, making mockery of the situation.
Mhm,
This morning, I saw Aisha Yesufu's post that she's no longer contesting for the senatorial seat in the FCT.
yeah.
And the first comment I saw was, go and thief now. You want to go and steal your like. I just feel like we are not angry enough. And I totally agree with the last speaker that what Nigeria needs at this time is not an election. Because we all know what happened during the NSAS. The youth came out, everybody came out in one voice. And at the end of the day, they used the military to chase us in. And then they said, oh, your PVC is your voice, your PVC is your power. Go and get your PVC. Of course, we went ahead, we got our PVCs. I remember by this time, 2022, I think the elections was towards the end of 2023. We were already on the streets. 1 million march for Peter Obi. You know, we were on the streets already building momentum. And then the election came and we all saw how these people, they rubbished our efforts. I remember on the day of election, I risked my life to go to Oshodi because that is where I registered to vote then. I went to Oshodi to vote. I remember how they were chasing us. Like, they made it very clear that if you are not going to be voting for this political party, you have no place here. I and my sister, we stood our ground that we were going to vote, like risked our life. And at the end of the day, what came out of it? They rigged everything and rubbished it. What I think we need right now is for Nigerians to hit the streets. We don't need an election at this time because we already, you see what they are doing. You are counting one person as 100. From 100, it went to 171, then to 700. Like, if they can do this in primaries, just imagine what they plan on doing, you know, during the main elections. We don't need an election. We need Nigerians out on the streets. That is exactly what we need, not an election, because I am very convinced, not to scare anybody, not to confuse anybody, but personally, I do not think anything good is going to come out of that election. The only thing these people care about right now is the election. People are in the bush. Children are in the bush. I saw the video of that principal yesterday and I cried because this is somebody that has spent her life serving, you know, teaching children. She has gotten to that position of a principal. She didn't get there by beans, by child's play. This person is probably very close to retirement. Now, this person is in the bush at the mercy of some miscreants. And what the government is concerned about right now is election. They went ahead they are still conducting their primaries, going about campaigning for what exactly. Now, another issue is why I said what we need is not an election, is because, like they've always done, we've seen in previous elections, they will bring the divide and conquer rule and scatter everything. They did it during the last election. Nigerians, we do not have one voice. So I will always say that election will not solve our problem. What will solve our problem is go out on the street and protest. If 100 people come out today, another set of people see that these people have come out. Tomorrow, more people will join. That is how we are going to take our country back. Because we do not have one voice. That tribalism is already there. Of course, there's tribalism everywhere in the world. I left Nigeria in 2023. I used to think Nigeria was tribalistic. But when I left, and where I am currently, there is tribalism everywhere. But you know what? Our government will always use that card because an average Nigerian is selfish. True. I say it with my full chest.
True.
You see somebody coming to tell you, oh, it is the turn of the Igbo man to be the president. It is the turn of the Yoruba man to be the president. It is the turn of the Edo man to be the president. Why are they saying this? Because in their mind, they are thinking, oh, if my tribesman is the president, probably I might be lucky to get one political position. I might be lucky to get one appointment. That is all for them. It is selfish. Nobody is looking at the bigger picture. Nobody is looking at, oh, let us actually elect somebody that is competent so that, you know, everybody will be comfortable. Everybody will be okay. No, that's why you see that, oh, a certain incompetent person will win an election and the first thing somebody will say is, this government will favor me and my family. An average Nigerian is very selfish, and these leaders, they have studied it, they have used it over the years, it has worked for them, and they will continue to use that tribal card. Even when you talk about religion, why will a certain denomination decide to vote for somebody that attends a certain church? Do you know why? Because they are having it at the back of their mind that, oh, this person is probably close to home. This person is a church member. You know, it's going to favor us. it still boils down to that selfishness. That's why I am of the opinion that we do not need an election at this time. The other speaker was saying that they said the drones they will use to go and search for those people in the bush will be ready in June. That's crap. That's nonsense. We all know that if we're not careful, before we, God forbid, God will not later, before we know, we'll start hearing that these people, they have started buying them. It is all political. It is political. These people, they are playing games with people's lives. And we want to reward them with another election. For what? Like Nigerians should boycott this coming election. We do not need an election because it is not going to solve our problem. We know that already. If they see that we are serious about, nobody's coming out to vote, conduct the election yourself and vote for yourself now. But of course, because we do not have one voice, it's not going to work. Even if you say boycott election, people that will come out and vote will come out and vote. And even if it's 10 people they will declare the winner based on the number of people that came out to vote. That's why I'm saying that, please, I don't know how I'm going to say this. We need to hit the street. And probably, I know that I'm not around. Like during the NSAS, I was always on the street. But right now, I am not, but I can mobilize from wherever. Hit the street. The country has started. I came to Nigeria last year, Glory. Which day I come out for Nigeria here? 2023. And I went to Nigeria 2025. The difference, the changes I saw. In a day, I was spending 50K on Uber. As how now? Like, as how? Where am I going to?
It's not bad.
It's very bad. Like, it's very... I had a budget coming home. This is how much I was going to spend. It was like I was playing, like I was just joking when I made that budget. I was literally joking. And now I came to Nigeria. The saddest part of it is that I did not even tell my dad I was around because I will not be able to travel to the village. I don't want to go and die in the bush. I don't want to be kidnapped. And there's no way I'll tell my dad I'm around and he will not expect me to come down to the village. I did not tell him I was coming to Nigeria. Is that bad? Like the situation is so bad. No, we need to find solutions to our problem. And for me, I think hitting the street is what we need. Of course, they want to play that NSAS thing on us again. But, well, I just hope that God helps us. Thank you,
But
Gloria. I like what
thank you
you're
so
doing.
much,
And
Lori.
yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lori. Thank you so much. But I do have a question, because I mean I totally understand where you're coming from. However, Nigeria is so diverse. Oh my goodness. I said before that our diversity, sometimes it's a blessing, but other times it's actually like a curse because it's like having so many chickens scattered all over the place and you're trying to gather them in one place and you're grabbing this one is running here, this one is running there. That is what the scene looks like in terms of Nigeria's diversity. So if you say we don't need an election, we need to protest. I mean, I'm of the opinion that even as at yesterday, we need to be on the streets with this whole kidnapping situation, insecurity on the high. People in Abuja and other neighboring states, they should be in front of all the government houses in Abuja already, because that is where we know that the president is. So they should already be there. And then in other states, especially the states where this insecurity is really, really high, the citizens should already be in front of the government house. They should already carry placards. They should already be giving the governors and his official sleepless nights, right? So I totally agree with protest. And anytime, any day, I will be out there, just like I was also out there during NSAS protests. However, if we say we do not need an election, don't you think that that would also create a more volatile situation? Because a country like Nigeria with over 200 million people cannot exist without proper leadership. And I use the word leadership deliberately, not what we have today. What we have today is not leadership. What we have today is like a dictator ruling his people with an iron hand, right? So I am looking at a proper leadership with direction, leadership with empathy, leadership with intentionality, leadership with consciousness of a one Nigeria. Because unfortunately, most of the people that surrounds the president we have today, they are all bigots. One of the president's spokesperson, he has it on record. If you check most of his tweets dating back from the 2023 elections, that man has been a bigot, always aiming at the Igbo people, always dragging Igbo people, always calling for violence against the Igbo people. He's a hypocrite, and in a sane country, that man should not even be holding that office where he's holding as the president's office. But then again, look at the person we have as a president. He does not even have integrity, to the best of my knowledge. So when I say that, in as much as I stand for protest, for people making their voices heard, don't you think that not having an election will create a more volatile environment for Nigerians?
Glory. So what I think is, if I say we do not need an election at this time, it doesn't mean that we are not going to eventually hold an election, right? If
Hmm.
what I think we need is, when we go on the streets and these people see that, and these Nigerians are serious at this time, right? Let them
Hmm.
come and negotiate. Let us come to a round table and, let's find solutions to whatever problems we are facing right now. See, this
Hmm.
is issue of insecurity, is not something that I think is beyond the government. What I think is happening is deliberate incompetence. They do not want to do anything about it, either because I don't know if it is politically inclined or there is more to it. Because if somebody like Sheikhs Gumi can still be
Hmm.
working freely,
Hmm.
acting as a negotiator between bandits and the government,
And advocating for those terrorists too.
advocating for terrorists, then I feel like this is a deliberate thing. It's not something that it's beyond the government. They just do not want to do anything about it. And by the time we hit the street and they see that we are serious, and they actually help us provide solutions to this thing, then we can talk about having an election. It's not like we're not eventually going to have an election, but right now, I feel like this election is a total distraction from the problems we are currently facing. Because
Hmm.
how do we have children in the bush and all the government is concerned about is an election? It means they are taking us for granted, Glory. Like, these people have literally seen us finish. They know that we cannot do anything. And that's where it hurts, because we need to actually prove to these people that the power still belongs to the people.
Hmm.
And until we are able
They've
to
been
do
preparing for
that,
elections. They've been preparing for elections since
even
the
immediately
presidents
after
were
the
sworn
inauguration,
in.
yeah, of
Exactly.
course. That is to tell you how much these people have taken us for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, I started following the political whatever in this part of the world where I currently live, and Glory, you need to see how elections are being done. You need to see the level of accountability. Like, show us what you have done over the past 3 years that you have been in power, so that we will know if we need to vote for you or not. And you need to see how these people, every day, they're online outlining their achievements. This is how much we have cut down immigration. This is how much we have done this. This is how much we. Glory, this is like, when you see things like this, you will want to participate in that election, right? But whatever
Mm-hmm.
is going to happen in Nigeria, we know it's not an election we need at this time. These people have taken us for granted for too long. And if we are going to reward them with another election, it means that it's going to be worse. And I strongly believe that an election will not solve our problem at this time. It will only make it worse, because I don't want to be a prophet of doom, but I know, like, in my heart of hearts, that these people, they have already perfected the means to get back to power. They
Hmm.
have perfected it. See, it's only God that we, help us and take them out of the way. So
Hmm.
what we should be doing at this time is trying to prove to these people that we still have the power. They know we can. Obviously, they know they've instilled that fear in us since NSAS. Nobody wants to come out again. And if you look at since that NSAS, any group of persons that try to come out to protest, they either get them arrested. Like, it's just been crazy since then. If the military can track down this guy that they said that only made a video that they should feed the military. If they could
Justice.
track him down in that short period, you are telling me that these miscreants in the bush, they are too sophisticated for Nigerian government and the military to. They don't want to. And because they do not want to, we just have to find a way to get them to. I don't know how to put this in words, but we have to find a way. And the only way we can do this is if we actually go on the streets. See, shut down everywhere. The people are already suffering anyway. People are already
I mean,
suffering.
Lori, I agree with you, and permit me, but what I would not want us to, in a way, come off as though we are sort of discouraging Nigerians from voting, because
Yeah,
the goal is to push people with all we've got to come out and participate. Participation for the next election is a must. It is very, very necessary, right?
true.
So
Yeah.
I understand where you say, "Oh, election is not the answer," but the actual reality is it is the answer, and I would rather we restructure what you are saying, like we can protest, but when it now comes to that election, we need to be fully aware. We need to be conscious of the tricks that these politicians are playing. We need to be fully ready for whatever criminality they want to practice on the day of election. And we need to stand and participate in that election. We need to stand and defend our votes. We need to stand and protect our votes. We need to fight against their intimidation, because just like the 2023 election, what happened? Oh, people that were voting, especially in certain states in Nigeria, for example, Lagos State, some hoodlums, they arranged some of those they stormed some of those polling units, and they were beating people up, macheting people here and there. So if you ask me, I will say, oh, that as a voter that has been scared before, if I want to go to my polling unit, it will also be in my right for me to go with a weapon. When I say weapon, I can go with a stone, I can go with a stick. If anybody comes to try to intimidate me with a weapon, then it's going to be self-defense, because you cannot break my head and go scot-free. I will also break your head. So
Yeah.
when I say Nigerians should stand and fight and defend their votes and not be intimidated, that is what I am talking about. Because on the day of election, we see police officers standing by, and then they are just looking whether they received instructions from somewhere that, oh, allow the hoodlums to scatter the polling units, but don't stop the hoodlums, don't do anything. So because live and direct,
That's
I saw
exactly what happened in my polling unit.
it. I saw it too happen. I saw it too happen. So if I'm going to be talking to Nigerians now, I'm going to say, listen, election is the way, but the main way is voters' participation. You participate, you defend your vote, you protect your vote. If anybody tries to intimidate you, you fight back. That's you fighting for your country. That's you fighting for your rights. At least you put up a fight. It is better than not even doing anything at all. And then you sit there at home and say, oh, Chebi, they've rigged the election. No. If you allow them to rig freely, they will rig freely. But if you fight, put up a fight at least, so that tomorrow you can give yourself a pat on the back and say, okay, yes, at least I tried my best. It's way better than not even doing anything at all. So yes, we will protest when we are able to put away our cowardice and come out with courage. But when it comes to that 2027 election, we need to participate with all our might. We need to be mentally prepared. We see what's going on with INEC. We see what's going on with the judges. We see that the judiciary, in a way, they've already been bought. We see how everything is just looking, skewed. By the end of the day, it is us that have the power in our hands. If they intimidate you and you do not fight back, then you allow them to win. So me, on a day of election, I'm going to my polling unit with protection. I don't have a gun, I don't have a machete, but if it is my 6 inches high heel I can carry in my hand as my protection, I will carry it. Because nobody is going to stab my eye, nobody is going to break my head to collect my vote or to intimidate me from voting. My 6 inches high heel will surely land on that person's skull. If the police is not going to protect me or defend my vote as a voter or allow me to peacefully and rightfully exercise my rights as a Nigerian to vote, my 6 inches high heel will land on somebody's head, or my pestle will land on somebody's head. If the person is going to intimidate me, I will definitely fight back. So I feel like that is the kind of encouragement we need to give to Nigerians, all right? Because if we say that our election is not the way, to be very honest, people are already scared as it is. So people are probably going to be hiding in their homes and saying, oh, they don't need our votes anyways. Why should I vote? No, they need our votes, because it is when the votes are not necessarily there, they cannot inflate the numbers. But when we come out en masse to vote and we stand our ground and watch them count and follow them to where they are going to go and do the collation and uploading and whatever, then they see that, oh, Nigerians are actually serious this time. We mean business. Then they will know that for sure we mean business.
Thank you
Anyway,
very much, Gloria. And I must commend your composure, even when you're angry. Some of us don't have that. We don't have that those skills. Thank you
I
very much.
understand. Thank you.
All
Thank you
right.
so
Yeah.
much. Thank you
Okay.
so much for your contribution. And I also appreciate the fact that you are not disclosing your location. My sister, keep that up, because there are a lot of mad people in this
I
country.
know. I know.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and stay safe where you are. Thank you. All right. Let's speak with Prestige. Prestige, you're welcome to the conversation. Thanks for
Yeah,
waiting.
greetings. Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, greetings, brother. Thanks for what you do. I'm not gonna waste that much time. I mean, I'm gonna shorten my time. I have a lot to speak, but I'm gonna just be brief about it because I have to go watch the UF championship because I'm a sports fanatic. So having said that, let's go. Let me start. Oh, before I go, I was watching the chats. So my plea to you: don't let all those keyboard warriors, try to manipulate you, because all they
Yeah.
do here is gaslighting and everything. Because some of them were saying that you were very emotional. What is it
Mm.
not emotional when it comes to Nigerian politics? Politics is about emotion, particularly when a country that has been batazazed, a country that's, I mean, a country that's not going nowhere. We are not a same country. So we have to be very emotional. I do be emotional, so I don't let anybody gaslight me. But having said that, let me start with the tribalism part of Nigeria. We're a very tribal country. Like, me as an Igbo man. I always say I'm an Igbo man before I become a Nigerian. But it shouldn't be, it should not be mutually exclusive. I like my tribe and I like my nation. Okay, this is what a
Mm.
nation pattern is all about. But in Nigeria, that's not the case. It's mutually exclusive. People only think about their tribe. This is why we have tribalism going on in Nigeria. To the extent it's not something new, but I believe have been amplified to a different level. Not necessarily the ordinary people, because I grew up in Lagos. I'm a Surulere guy, even I thought I'm from the southeast. Okay,
Mm.
I know more about Lagos than I know my southeast. But having said that, we should be one nation, and I don't believe common people like you and I are very trouble. If you look at the whole region, trouble or whatever, we are not trouble. It's the
Mm.
0.01% of the Nigeria, the elite, the politicians. They use this tribal, connotation to weaponize us. If you look at what's going on, this tribal connotation always come up during the election. It's always come up, and you have some people that are really bigotry. I mean, I'm not going to say, very few percentage, but it's all about political narrative. That's what use, disturb us, and that's exactly what's going on. We are not tribal people. I'm going to say that, but our diversity supposed to be a plus. But we let the politicians divide us. So that's where we are. That's aside. So let's talk about the terrorism. What's going on in Nigeria.
Mm.
I mean, it's so painful. Even at all, I'm in a developed country where everything is working. I mean, USA, where everything work properly. I mean, I'm not saying they have the best democracy or whatever, or
Yeah.
they are the beacon of democracy. But you know what's going on in US right now. All over the world anyway. Having said that, um, Tinubu, in my own opinion, I mean, people tend to call him master strategy. In my own opinion, there's nothing master strategy about him. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what he practiced in Nigeria is what I consider to be a mafia politics. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what he practiced. He has brought the culture of hegemony that he implemented when he was the governor of Lagos State, and he has brought it to the
Absolutely.
national level. This is why we're having
Absolutely.
problem. But the problem we're having right now, nepotism or whatever, it didn't start from him. But in my own opinion, in my lifetime, he has taken it to a different level. His
Mm-hmm.
former boss, Buhari, you know, play a very big, nepotism in that area. Because if you ask somebody from the east, somebody from the north, are they buying bread different? Are they buying rice different?
Mm-hmm.
So this about somebody from your tribe has to rule. We have to get out from that mess or else all this rotational something they are talking about right now. There has to be a time, we have to get out from that nonsense. Let the most competent person rule. But I mean, it's just my strictly opinion, but I don't see that because we are still very tribal. Everybody wants their own men. The people in the southwest that has tinubu right now, are they buying bread cheaper? Are they not being savaged by the terrorists going on? I mean, look at what just happened. The school children kidnapped. And the guy that was beheaded. There's a platform I normally look. I'm not going to mention his name.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy that moderate that platform, he's from Saudi Arabia. I don't mean to be sectional, but I have to bring this into a context. He never brought the topic of what was going on because after they beheaded the guy, head and everything, he was just talking about some nonsense to be all that kind of things. I said, one other guy that came to the platform said, "What are you talking about? You need to talk about what's going on in your state. This is
Mm-hmm.
particularly the state you are from. You're not even talking about that. You're talking
Mm-hmm.
about something very mundane about politics or who is going to win or not going to win." So the point I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to make, we have become so. I mean, we have become normalized this terrorism, this banditry or whatever. You made a comment, that I can pivot a little bit. You said the government has legalized terrorism. I won't use the word. I won't use the word legalized. I think it's about normalized. They have normalized terrorism because they have not been able to do anything. I call it intentional normalization when it comes to the security. That's exactly
Mm-hmm.
what's going on. And the ordinary people in Nigeria, it's not, it has nothing to do with my family. They didn't kidnap my family. Nothing. It's not me. So I don't really care. I mean, like you properly stated, they're having what is it called? Ojuda Festival, Ojuda Oba Festival. They're having in the
Yeah.
battle or whatever. I mean, how can something that happen? And this is a stage whereby people are still in captivity right now. Little children, that's the one that pain me a lot, So they're still in captivity, they beheaded somebody, and you having shamble, what I consider to be a shamble inauguration. You have people coming. What are you celebrating if you don't have life? What are you celebrating about? You get to baffle me about what's going on. I can say that the government is complicit, whether they like it or not. They are complicit about the insecurity going on right now. Neither because they have people in their cabinet, you know, that are terrorism patron. They patronize terrorists. They don't want to do anything. It's all about next election, 2027. Tinubu has
Mm-hmm.
not said a thing. Even the wife, even the children say, I don't know. They say, she says something. I don't like to listen to her, or whatever, that she says something about the children. Not the particular the one that was kidnapped, just children, there. But
Yeah.
never mention anything about the kids that were kidnapped. I mean, I can understand. I'm not saying any kidnap is not bad, but when it comes to children, people who has not lived their life, you know, I mean, that's going to be the next generation of Nigeria. Okay, you are taking them away. What do you want Nigeria to be? You see,
They
it's
lack
very, very
empathy.
annoying, and somebody's going to come or chat or whatever, because you're a sick or fancy, to the president we have, whether she a party affiliation or tribal affiliation, you know. Then, when anybody says something bad, I'm one of those people. I'm not going to speak good of. I'm not trying to come here, and say something bad about Nigeria. Say, oh, it's not Nigeria. It's about the government. That's where my particular emphasis is going to be. It's about the government. We have a very corrupted government. This Tinubu that is in charge, going by his history, the guy has a dodgy background. So when you elected a human being that with a dodgy background, what do you expect? How do you expect? It's not about what he's going to do for you. Do you know that? Do you look at? I was looking at the index of the borrowing of Nigeria. I'm not talking. There's nothing wrong with borrowing, but you have to use the money properly. Nigeria, I mean, I think there's about out of the 10 in the world, from number 1 to number 10, Africa has 5 countries, that are borrowing the most, from the World Bank. And Nigeria was number 1 there. You have Ghana, you have Nigeria, you have Kenya, I think Tanzania. What other country? There's one more country that was in there in that index in terms of borrowing in the world. We're in the top 10. Africa has 5 of them, but Nigeria was number 1. So what are you doing with the money borrowing? We know what you did, how the money you remove from the money you remove from the fuel subsidy. Where is that
Where is
going?
that
I
one?
read the other day it was almost about 10 billion, that has been, that has been inherited from that removal of fuel subsidy. What are you doing with the money? Nobody know. You keep on borrowing. This man has borrowed more than previous president. And nothing is happening. And they have this so-called ban one, ban a, bans. I'm not gonna wait. Let me just go. Okay, let me leave it at that. But hopefully, we can meet next week. Talk about it. But
Mm.
Nigeria, we need to keep on speaking. Like I said, I empower people from. I mean, I had some hospitality business. I'm from Owerri to be specific. I have some hospitality business just to empower my people. So they don't be asking me for money. So most of them work there. And I tell them because they already have voter apathy. They say they're not going to vote again. I said, if you don't vote, I'm going to sack all of you. I told them, yes, I'm going to sack all of you because I used to send money, except when it's necessary. But right now, a lot of them work there. I mean, I don't benefit from that. It's just for them. Somebody managing it. We have few hotels over there. But I told them, if you don't vote, don't have any voter apathy because you can't rely on what's happened last time. Say my vote didn't kind of whatever. No, we have to be strong about it. We have to keep on moving. We have to
Mhm.
pursue, we have to pursue the right of Nigeria. It's a very paramount in our lifetime. If you don't vote, nobody's going to vote. You will still have the same government. You have to repeat the same government. You just like when a government is not performing, what's your scorecard as of this year? Tinubu has no uh, scorecard, but miserable to the Nigeria. If you look at all indices, Nigeria is worse off than they were before 2023. Look at it. Am I going to start from the Naira? Am I going to start from the inflation? Forget about this nonsense they are telling you. They rebranded everything about inflation and everything. That's exactly what happened. Paying the
Mm.
debt, they use the money they are borrowing. I think they use it to, they use it to pay down the debt. Okay, that's okay, and and still the rest of the money. This is what is doing. That's why we're not seeing the money being implemented in Saturday. But anyway, to make the story short, I told my sibling. I mean, I don't have any immediate family in Nigeria, but I told the people that I employ. If you don't go out and vote, and people working at that hotel or wherever which they are getting the money from, if you don't go out and vote, I'm not I'm gonna close the hotel. I'll hire outsiders. I told them already. You don't have to vote. We shouldn't be there shouldn't be any kind of voter apathy. We don't need
Mm.
that. We have to keep on moving, pushing. That's how I see it. But anyway, thank you, Gloria, for what you do. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank
All
you
right.
so much for your contribution. Thank you. Okay, finally, we're going to speak with Oge Esther. Esther, you're going to be our last speaker for today. You are welcome to the conversation. How are you?
Hi, Glory. Good evening.
Good evening.
I came into this place with kind of a lot of vibe, but when I hear everybody talk, I don't know. I'm just like, okay, I need energy. Um, Actually, let's not be emotional because one thing this government has taught me is to be logical and to always look for solution rather than complain, cry, murmur, and stuff. The problem we have in Nigeria are the Nigerians. So I'm not based in Nigeria and I've lived most of my life out of Nigeria. But when I came to Nigeria, I realized that I knew more about the politics of Nigeria than the people around me. And it was quite shocking. Like, Nigerians are distracted. Nigerians are ruled by money. Our government is an extension of us. What we are complaining about, the next person that is going to come on the seat will be a Nigerian who behaves like a Nigerian, like the everyday Nigerians we have around. So it's not about removing APC. It's about us changing our mentality. And it doesn't just start with the crowd. it starts with us. How do you see your neighbor who has a lot of money? Do you respect him more than the gates man? How do you see these people? How do you regard them? Is it because he's wealthy? That means he's intelligent? Do you wait for them to speak and try to analyze how they talk? Do you listen to that gate man and pay attention to how he speaks? Like, we are more focused on the superficial, on the surface. That is why the president knows exactly how to make Nigerians happy. It's just a matter of building maybe one hospital and making the place cheap. And Nigerians will forget everything that they have ever done wrong. So you see, it's a problem of us. It's kind of like asking people to change their garments. If that garment is still filthy, we still have a filthy government. So Nigerians need to build back their morals of not worshipping money. Yesterday, I watched a video where this guy edited, placed two videos like side by side. In one video, that's one part of the video was this lady in the bush crying, the teachers crying, begging the government to negotiate with the bandits. And then the other side of the video was very, very funny or very, very interesting. The son of the president in one occasion, I didn't really pay attention to what occasion it was. Like people were dressed in luxurious, like what would I say, garments, luxurious attires. The police people, the militaries that should be in the bush searching for our children were literally there guarding. I don't know who they were guarding, and people were literally hating these other people. So you see that Nigerians are distracted. We are all distracted. Let me go to our celebrities. Sincerely, our celebrities are mere humans filled with insecurity, covered with money, or covered with makeup. Like when Nigerians realize that all of these people are maybe even lower than them, how is it that, let me use this example, a senator marries a celebrity and then becomes, or better still, a Nigerian marries a celebrity and then wins the position of a senator. Okay? When he leaves the celebrity, or when the celebrity leaves him, whatever, he loses the election. What does that mean? Does that mean Nigerians vote people because of influence? So you see that the problem is Nigerians. The government has sat down, these people have sat down, like the last speaker said that the president is carrying out what they say, mafia. He has sat down, studied the people, and now is giving the people exactly what they are asking for. They are asking for wealth to be flaunted. A little child will come out and say, I have 10 billion. People start hailing him. People flaunt money and nobody is asking, how do you make this money? And even if you make this money genuinely, why are you flaunting it? Why are you flaunting it? But because you flaunt money, the next thing is to go and collect a title in your village. So from the president to, from the Senate, whoever, if we stop looking at what these people have and pay attention to what they bring, right down to our neighbors, right down to the people we respect, right down to the people around us, you start seeing that people are empty. You start paying attention to those who really matter. And fortunately, or let's say unfortunately, those that really matter are those who don't have the money. So they're easily pushed aside. Lastly, children were kidnapped. The following day, children went to school. Who are we deceiving? Like, especially in that community. Because I cannot say in the whole Nigeria everybody should keep their child. People have different mentality. But in that community or in that area, why is it that there is no, why are people not withholding their kids? Even teachers, why are they not staying back home? Because that hunger we are running away from today, it's going to catch us tomorrow. I came to Nigeria this year in April, and I attended this church. When I got into the church, everything was luxurious. I mean, everything was luxurious. Then it's a very popular church. Everything was luxurious. The pastor who was on the pulpit, she was sparkling. I mean, she was sparkling, her makeup was sparkling, her hair was sparkling. And each time I'm like, okay, I'm in church. Okay, concentrate. Like they themselves, they are praising themselves. So you see that literally, we need to change our mentality. And it's not just the Nigerians in Nigeria, even the Nigerians abroad. We are too money minded. We are distracted. We have lost our morals. The average Nigerian, even where I grew up, because I grew up out of Nigeria, where I grew up, when I was growing up, us Nigerians, we had more morals than where we live. I mean, outsiders admire us because we're hardworking and were straightforward. But now, when I look around, I am not the one, like, I'm literally looking at my fellow Nigerians and I'm like, but this was not how it used to be. Once you have money, you're respected. Once you have money, your sins are forgiven. Once you have money, everything you do is correct. And I look at the people around me, like the people that are not Nigerians around me, and I see how much these people are contented with the little they have. Glory, I'm going to praise you for a minute, right? You know, I follow you a lot and I've seen how hardworking you are. One thing I want to say as thank you to you is thank you for not flaunting the little blessing God has given you because it encourages us to know that we can still speak out the truth when we see it. Because you have opportunities to literally use this platform and generate as much money as you want. You go back home, like, nobody will call you out on social media, or maybe very few people. So, but that is what we Nigerians need to start doing. We should literally see people who have money and regard them as human beings and forget about them. Not because they have money, you start thinking of how can this benefit me? Like the speaker that said, Nigerians are selfish. We are very selfish. We are very selfish, money minded, and we are distracted by it. Like Nigeria is an entertainment country. Let the president just come out and dance now. We literally carry it and make jokes out of it. Laugh and
Mm-hmm.
forget our sorrows. Laugh and forget our sorrows, and then we move on. So we are distracted, we are money minded, and we praise these celebrities so much. And this thing of this activist, right? We need to start knowing the truth for ourselves. I am very shocked. It was in your life that I learned that history was removed from Nigeria, and it saddens my heart. It
Mm-hmm.
saddens my heart so much because what is left for our children? Social media? Is that where our children will now learn about their country? Social media that is made up of many voices. Social media that where a child of 10 years can advise an adult of 40 years. And you let's actually work on ourselves. I think that's something we can do. Let's stop complaining about the government. Yes, let's go out and vote. Let's do our rights. Or let's carry out our duties. Yes, let's do that. But also let's work on ourselves. We are too money minded. That is how these people are getting us. One, they need to just bring one celebrity that we respect and admire and give her a beautiful speech, give her some money to go and build a big house. And we literally respect that celebrity. We don't pay attention to like, okay, you've done this, we're grateful. Okay, let's move on. We'll literally use it and praise her for the next 10 years. People will come out and complain about the bad she does. Nobody cares. Do you know that she's the one that built the biggest hospital in Nigeria? We are too money minded. So that's all I have to say. I hope we work on ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Oge Esther. Thank you so much for all you have said. Thank you. I really appreciate your contribution. Guys, I want to talk on two things based on what everybody has contributed here today. So first, you know, um, I've seen comments of we should not be emotional about what is happening. I'll tell you this for free that as a Nigerian, no matter where you are, yeah, when you learn about the insecurity situation in Nigeria. And you are also aware about the proximity of the states in Nigeria. And then you also do your logical calculations about the distance it takes these terrorists to move from one location to another. I promise you, you will be frightened and you will be emotional. No matter how logical you are, and no matter how logical you want to be. This is life we're talking about. If you feel you're safe where you are, think about the people that have been abducted. Think about the people who have been butchered, the people who have been gunned down. Think about the people who are victims, unfortunate victims of the situation of insecurity in Nigeria. Think about the young girls who have been kidnapped and they've been raped, they've been molested, they've been assaulted. All manner of unthinkable things have been done to them in the hands of these terrorists. Do you know that a lot of people, the young, the old, men, women, so long as they are in the territory of these terrorists, right? You don't know what's happening to them, but best believe that their lives will never ever remain the same if they make it out alive. If they make it out alive, the trauma that they will carry, it's going to be a trauma that they will carry for the rest of their lives. You don't know. And pray you never know. Pray you never experience being abducted. Because these people in captivity, a lot of them cannot express themselves properly with the English language. So they might not be able to tell you their experience if they make it out alive. They might not be able to really tell you in details. They might not even have enough vocabulary to tell you the sordid experience they would have had in captivity. But one thing that would always live with them, it's trauma, fear for their life. They would always be looking behind their back. They would always be looking around them. Who is this? Who is that? They will question everything. They will question their existence. So anybody coming here to say Nigerians should not be emotional, I beg your finest pardon. Don't tell me that. Because you don't know. You don't know. The fact that it is not you that is in the captivity of these terrorists, you have no right to tell other Nigerians to not be emotional. I will be emotional because I am human first before I am Nigerian. I am human first. There's blood running through my veins. My nerves will definitely react when I'm in danger. Not to talk of when I am now actually experiencing that danger. Do you know the amount of panic attacks these people are experiencing in the hands of these terrorists? Do you know what's happening with these people? You don't know. So you cannot be where you are because you feel you're safe. And then you want to tell Nigerians to not be emotional. Let's be very polite. Don't you dare. Don't you dare say that again. Don't you ever tell Nigerians to not be emotional. Because this is reality. We're not talking about Nollywood or Hollywood. No, this is reality. People are getting kidnapped. People are getting killed in their farms, in their homes, in their churches, in their mosque. People are getting slain just for being who they are, just for practicing whatever kind of religion they are practicing. People are getting slain. People are being used as a pawn in political games amongst these politicians. So please, I beg you, let's be very sensitive because it's a very, very sensitive situation and conversation. Do not look at any Nigerian in the face that complains about the situation of things in their country. Do not look at them and tell them that they are being emotional, because it is you that's being irrational. When you think about the proximity of these states in Nigeria, Nigeria has 36 states, right? And the FCT. So when you think about the proximity, there are some states that only has 2 hours in between Lagos and Ibadan. I think it's about 2 hours or 2 hours 30 minutes. It depends on the road, the drive. If you're driving between Ibadan and Ogun State, I think it's about 2 hours again or 3 hours. The proximity is not that much. If you are looking at between Lagos to, let's say, Akwa Ibom State, it's about 10 to 13 hours. And what do we have today? These terrorists, they are moving. They are spreading their wings. They are infiltrating different communities. They're infiltrating different communities. It's a cause for concern. It's something that makes you panic when you think about it. It's something that makes you scared. So if the government, if these security agencies keep saying, oh, tracking them is not easy, it makes you wonder where is safe. So please, let's dead that narrative that when people talk about these things and they get really triggered about, people are being emotional. Oh, let's be logical. When insecurity knocks on your door, let me see if you will be logical. Emotions are real. They are real. They are part of what makes us human. So you cannot tell people to shut down their emotions and just be logical. If it's easy, go and live in the north or go and live in a terrorist-infested location and let's see how logical you can be. That's number one. Number two, I've seen comments that we should, only talk about solutions and blah, blah, blah. Please, the fact is, you cannot talk about solutions without talking about the problems. How do you even identify solutions if you cannot even point out the problems in the first place? The reason we talk about these issues is because a lot of Nigerians have chosen to be deaf and blind to them. A lot of Nigerians, home and abroad, they've decided that they do not want to be bothered. And the reason is because of what we've said already. That problem of individualism that a lot of Nigerians have. If it is good for me, I don't care if it is good for any other person. So a lot of people completely, deliberately shut their minds to these things that are happening in Nigeria. So what we do on this platform here, frankly speaking with Glory Elijah, is we create that awareness. We talk about the problems and we also invite people to express themselves, express their minds about the problems and also prefer solutions. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So the next time we gather here again, we're going to point out the problems as they come up, because there's always something happening in this country. So the next time we gather here again, we're going to point out the problems happening. We're going to point out the matters arising. We're going to talk about it. And then we're also going to talk about solutions. We will not only come here and pretend that there are no problems, and then we will now fake it like we'll be forming like we're talking about solutions. How do you talk about solutions when you don't even identify the problems in the first place? So please, if you're not in the kitchen receiving the smoke, you will not really understand how hot the kitchen is. So we're going to talk about these issues because everybody needs to be aware. Everybody needs to be conscious that these things happening in Nigeria, they are real. It's not hearsay. They are real. We're going to talk about these problems, and then we would also prefer solutions. And in our own various capacities, we'll see how we can contribute to the good of the country. Simple as that. It's not simple, it's not easy, but that is the most we can do for now. So please, no insensitive comments like, oh, Nigerians are too emotional and that. No. If you're not in the kitchen receiving the heat, you will not understand how hot it is. My heart goes out to those Nigerians who have been kidnapped. I don't even know what to say that would make any of this okay, because it is not okay. I'm not even going to say, oh, let's pray for them, because to be honest, the amount of prayers we have prayed in Nigeria since I was born, and things have not changed. I do not see this country needing prayers. I see this country needing deliberate leadership. Leadership with accountability, leadership with empathy, leadership that actually values human life, because this current administration have proven year in, year out that they do not value human life. I'm going to stop talking here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to stop talking here. Thank you all so much for all of your contributions. I said that during the week, next week, I will put out a video on how I think and believe that Nigerians can actually participate in the coming elections. I sat down, I thought about it, and I thought, hey, I need to put my thoughts out there. So I'm going to make a video about it. All right. So please watch out for that video. But overall, thank you all so much for your time. I really appreciate you all. AB, thank you so much for your gift again. I really appreciate you. God bless you massively. I am grateful for your contribution to this channel. For every single person that vocalized their thoughts, thank you so much for your courage to speak up. I really appreciate all of you for your time and your commitment to join the conversation. For those of you in the comment section that joined, participated and engaged via the comment section, I appreciate all of you. God bless you all so much. Please let us keep hope alive. Let us keep on spreading the good work and the good news of how Nigerians can fight for their rights. Let us keep on spreading that message. Let us try to encourage and enlighten every single Nigerian we come across that the power is in their hands to change their destinies in this country, that the power is in their hands to change their future as Nigerians. The power is in their hands to change how the world perceives Nigerians from negativity to positivity. And the only way we can do that is to begin to take our power back from these criminal elements that call themselves our leaders, because they are not leading by example. Instead, they are shortening our lifespan by the minute, by the second. Enough is enough. If we've been docile as we've been, it's time for Nigerians to wake up and take action. And that is where I am going to stop talking for today. Thank you all so much for your time once again, and look forward to interacting with every single one of you on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Glory Elijah. Enjoy the rest of your evening and your weekend, and thanks once again for joining the conversation. Bye.